right. I'm gonna open up. Shalom, shalom. We the Hebrew Israelites. Back at it. Week in and week out through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shah. Right, Son of Salvation, right here in Brooklyn. Coming back at it with another lesson. The spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shah. All praise to Shema Shah. All praises to Yahweh Shema Shah. All praises to Yahweh Shema Shah. All right. With Dasha Nah, to my right of me is Aharon, my lawyer. Right, we got our brother, little bro, Awar Mom. He wasn't able to make it today, but he with us in spirit. So shout out to that brother, you know, if he's tuning in. But yeah, we gonna open up with Jacob Trouble, like the brother, like the Aqua to open up with Jacob Trouble. So we just gonna roll with that and see what the spirit takes us. And as always, before we start any live lesson that we do, we like to give all honor, all praises, and all glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, God. All right, shout out to our elders, our elder apostles, and elder bishops that we will. Salutations to the fellow Akim that labor on the apostle doctrine, and to the men, women, and children that sincerely believe. To you we say shalom, man. I got a quick few seconds, man, before you open up. This is Romans. Talk about lukewarmness, man. Because this is not the season to be lukewarm, you know what I'm saying? And we in the, you know, demons plague us. Sometimes you're battling, you get weak, and then you start slacking in your reading, slacking in your brain, slacking in your studies, man. It happens, you know what I'm saying? We human, you know, and none of us is perfect, so it's gonna happen, you know? And if you're saying to yourself it's not gonna happen to you, you're just lying to yourself. You're not being honest. You're deceiving yourself, you know what I'm saying? So don't deceive yourself. Be honest with yourself. That's why the scripture says in 1 Corinthians 3:13 and 15, examine thy 13 and 5, Salaki, examine thyself, whether thou be in the faith. But examine thyself. So when you look at yourself, you gotta be honest with yourself. And you gotta see what you're doing wrong. You know? It can't just be, oh, you're telling yourself everything you're doing right, but you're not showing yourself, you're not looking at what you're doing wrong, man. And see, that's the hard pill to swallow. That's the hard thing to do. You look at yourself in the mirror to see what you're doing wrong. How you know what I'm saying? When you're lacking this faith and what you need to correct, man. You gotta do that, bro. Because if you don't do that, if you don't ever face yourself, if you don't ever examine yourself, then how could you make it to salvation? How you gonna continue to drive in the truth? You won't. Eventually you're gonna wither and die and be cut off, man. You gotta examine yourself. Because you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Rightly divided. Right, you were
going on. You know exactly what you went off in. Get focused. Get back to the scripture.
right.
And when you're doing right, you know, it's not nothing you can do for that. You can't tap yourself on the back and say, oh, you're good. Nah, you just keep doing it. Strive. Look forward to doing a little more.
Right. So we, like the elder said, you know, one of the elders in his lesson, listen to it short. But basically, the brother put up a short in the elder's lesson, and he was speaking about how we judge it, speaking of maturity, and how what matures you is the truth. And one of the law, statutes, commandments is what matures you. Because he was breaking down 1 Corinthians 11 and 13. It says, when I thought as a child, when I became a man, you know what I'm saying? When I was a child, I thought as a child, I acted as a child, I thought, you know what I'm saying? I moved as a child. When I became a man, I put away childish things. So he was breaking that down, and the elder was saying when it comes to maturity, when maturity is not what the world says, it's not doing push-ups, being able to, you know, talk to a girl, or being able to get a girl, you know what I'm saying? Or money, or having a family. That's not what matured you. Maturity is about knowing these laws and commandments, because now you're in a position to be a judge. All right, and a part of examining yourself is judging yourself, right? Are you going right or are you going left, man? And you got to do that, because if you don't properly examine yourself, then you're gonna be off, and eventually, because the Lord loves you, He's gonna rebuke you. He's gonna rebuke you through men. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna see brothers tell you more often, like, "Hey, bro, you going off. Hey, bro, you going off. Hey, bro, you going off." You know what I'm saying? So you don't want to have to get to that point where the Lord got to keep telling you going off, man. You know what I'm saying? Examine yourself, and Lord willing, you know, the Lord will show you where you're going on. See what I'm saying? Because He's seeing that you're sincere. He's seeing that you examine yourself. So this is our real quick. Revelation chapter 3, verse 15. I know thy works, that thou art neither hot, cold, nor hot. I would thou wert cold or hot. So this speaking about lukewarmness, right? So let's think of it like a cup of water, right? You want your cup of water cold, summer day, hot summer day, 92 degrees, you want a cold cup of water. Right. When it's freaking 40 degrees outside, you want a warm. You know what I'm saying? You want a warm tea or coffee. See what I'm saying? What you want, warm liquid or hot liquid? You don't want lukewarm. You don't like when your coffee, nobody likes when they coffee set shit. When they get lukewarm or they tea. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You don't like that lukewarmness. Word. You spit that out. That's what happens when you gargle mouthwash in your mouth. It gets lukewarm. That liquid gets lukewarm and you spit it out. You know what I'm saying? It don't feel good to drink. So the Lord is using this analogy of how you would how like the temperatures of how we like our drinks to say like the Lord rather you be on fire, which is that hot, but it's true, passionate and with this thing, or just totally not with it, like you hate it, I'm not with it. You know what I'm saying? He rather exactly pick a side because he don't want you to be on the fence warm, because eventually he gonna reject you. That's spitting out. That's what it means to spit you out. Meaning he gonna reject you, man. So eventually you're gonna fall out of this thing. So you gotta, hey man, examine thyself. Fire, man. Thinking of myself. Thinking of myself first, man. You know what I'm saying? Thinking of myself first. You know? Gotta examine myself and see the things that I need to do to, you know what I'm saying, to get that fire, man. Not to fall, you know what I mean? Word, not to get cold. You know what I'm saying? On your fire. Verse 16 it says, so then because thou art lukewarm and neither cold nor hot, I will spew thee out of my mouth, man. See what I'm saying? Word. Word, man. Word.
All out of it. You understand. Because you don't understand what you're out of place. Not doing enough. Not doing what you're supposed to do. This is not the bare minimum. This is not this is all out
Oh, not for the weak or the faint of heart? Oh no, lazy man book.
Lazy man.
Yeah.
Bible's not a lazy man book, man. You know, some days, don't get me wrong, man. You get beat down with the oppression of the world, man. The oppression of the world is being with them. It was saying give strong grip unto men that's getting ready to go to the other side.
Right.
And one to the men who's heavy in heart. You know what I'm saying? You have the revelation of this oppression, man. This oppression is definitely will attack you. It brings you down, break you down, pull you away, tear you apart, make you want to cuddle up in the bed under your sheets. You know, just you know, get yourself in a place and just be like, yo, I just want to be able to breathe in a place without having to think of all the troubles that's coming and all the troubles I'm dealing with.
Right.
Time it happens. You know?
Right. You gonna get those days.
Then through scripture,
Yep.
through understanding, what I was saying earlier,
No, I was saying you gonna have bad days. We all get them, but you gotta fight those spirits, man. You gotta fight. You gotta put on the whole armor of Yahweh Shema Shah. Let you know Ephesians 6 and 12, man. Put on that whole armor, man. You know what I'm saying? You gotta pray to the Lord, ask him to cast them demons away. You gotta put on the whole armor of Yahweh Shema Shah. Trust in the power of his might, man. You gotta trust in the Lord, man. You gotta trust in the Lord. You gotta pray. You gotta do what you gotta do in the spirit to get unstuck. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I'm exhorting myself when I say this. You don't want to be stuck, going in limbo. You know what I'm saying? Keep going in in circles with the demon mode. At some point, you gotta face that demon. You gotta fast. You gotta pray. You gotta do what you gotta do, man. It is hard. We not telling you, you know what I'm saying? But it's not impossible either. That demon don't got more power than Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. You gotta do what you gotta do, man.
And
You
don't
have
got
to.
more power than you.
Word.
The key is like, think of it in every sort of the word, right? This scripture right here, Proverbs 4 and 7. It says wisdom is the principal thing. So if we grab wisdom out of all things first, then that wisdom will give us the what? The discernment to be able to receive this information, right? We're accepting who? The Rukakwadash to do what? Allow us to bring out these scriptures and break it down in its rightful manner. You get what I'm saying? So when you're able to do certain things, you gotta read this book like it's like you putting a dresser together. You know what I'm saying? Like you putting a petabyte together from scratch. You gotta read it so you can apply it. You can't read it like you running a fucking marathon or you read it to your child as they going to sleep. Nah, you gotta read it like you're trying to figure this shit out. It's a combination. It's a combination. It's not very simple. It's not a simple answer on sport, man. This is for somebody who's gonna diligently find his way through this thing, man. Sit back, relax, figure this shit out. You know what I mean? The playbook is right here. It's written. All you gotta do is study it, figure out how to go. Okay, this is the direction, this is the journey, this is the end point.
And learn the plays.
Learn to play.
And this way, when it's time to execute, you know what to do. So when the coach saying, "Oh, go to the corner,"
Exactly.
you know where the corner's at.
Come on.
Oh, stay at the top of the key. You know where that's at. So you can make that shot. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So yeah, it's about learning the plays. But yeah, that's a beautiful point. Applying the scriptures. Applying the scriptures.
It says, wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get it. Get wisdom. And with all thy getting, get understanding. And that's the main part. Getting understanding. Allowing this scripture to reveal itself to you. And by doing that, understand exactly what it's saying. You know what I'm saying? You gotta understand exactly what it's saying. And move under those precepts. No more, no less.
Yeah. But that's a beautiful point. You know, I forgot what I wanted to say. I forgot what I wanted to say, but let's go into. Hey, Shalom. Romans. Or they're going to Romans chapter 2 and verse 8. I'll start at 17. Now I can start at 19. Romans chapter 2, verse 19. And art confident that thou thyself art a guide of the blind, a light of them which are in darkness. Meaning what? You got answers, right? You wise, right? You looked at as like a leader, important figure, somebody that the people look up to and go to for answers, the guidance.
Right.
Yeah, I was at 2 and 18. No, 2 and 19, Salaki. Yeah, but that's just a person that, you know, people look to for answers. They trust their word. They trust their guidance. You know what I'm saying? They want their input, all right? That's what that light, the light represents answers. So you a teacher, right? You got all these answers, right? You're so wise. This is the Apostle Paul is saying. He's using that, he's saying it in that way to make a point, right? You know? Verse 20, an instructor of the foolish, a teacher of babes, which has the form of knowledge and the truth and the law. Thou,
So it looks like that. It gives off the appearance that you know the book.
verse 21, thou therefore which teaches another, teaches not thyself. So that's a question. You know what I'm saying? That's something to meditate on. How you teaching others, but you're not teaching yourself? Like the brother brought out, you gotta read it as if you want to apply it, as if you're trying to find the answer to a question. If you're trying to find the answer to a math problem, you know you were doing math in school.
Right.
Like you didn't read the textbook to read it, you was reading it to figure out how to solve the problem.
Exactly. Looking for the equation.
That's how you gotta read the Bible, man. You gotta read the problem. You gotta read the Bible as if you're trying to look for the problem to solve. You know what I'm saying? Look for the answers, right? How to solve your problem, how to solve your situation.
Yep.
Like, damn, what do I do? I'm stuck. I'm X, Y, and Z. That's how you gotta read the scriptures. That's how you gotta diligently search. As if you're trying to search for a problem, man. You're trying to find a cure to cancer or something. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You gotta be diligent. Diligently search. Word, man. And like I said, this is a cut on me, man. Because I could be more diligent in my reading. Way more. You know what I'm saying? Way more. Way more in my praying. Way more in my studying. Be more consistent, man. Word. I be falling short, man.
Don't think I ain't taking what you said as a great shot to me too, because
Yeah, good cut.
if we can't be each other's crutches, then what are we good for?
Oh, look, I got my shot.
You know? What are we wasting each other's time if we can't help each other out?
That's right.
Like, you supposed to be like this, man. I want to do this. If I don't want to do it, then let me go. You know what I mean? This is a waste. You don't want to waste your time. You don't have enough time to waste. You know
Word.
what I'm saying? Even though, the time we in, I definitely being sped up. When it's only being sped up for a principle reason. And that principle reason is for us to be able to redeem the time, man. And if the Lord didn't speed up the time, there wouldn't be no lives saved, man. Because every day you turn around, nose feeling crazy, stomach feeling retarded. And that's because of all of this foolishness, man. We need it. You know what I'm saying?
Our bread is defiled among the Gentiles.
Exactly.
Yep.
Bread is defiled. You know?
Yep.
But through the power and blessings that we have found in our shop, man, we're going to preserve, man.
Right. And that go back to Mark the 13th chapter where scripture said what? They shall drink poison and they shall not die. They shall eat deadly poison and they shall still live.
Still live.
Because that deadly poison represented the foul food that we're going to eat amongst the Gentiles. And we still alive.
This is
And that,
why you pray to pray in the name.
you know what I'm saying?
Pray to pray in the name, actually, for protection. Keep you safe through all her harm and danger.
Let me bring that out. Mark 13. Real quick. So not only is that, we shouldn't just pray over our food, but actually the power of the name.
Right.
That we could, you know what I'm saying? That the Lord, the power of the Lord, that we could eat all the foul food that really going to put us in a hospital. When you think about it, them shit, them ingredients in the food, man,
I see
they be putting.
it's similar diet. I'm like, yo, this is why you see I'm trying to, maneuver myself more toward like a plant-based diet, but not saying that to people because all this shit in the sky when it rains, it comes down and do what? Farmland. You know what I'm saying?
Or they spraying the chemicals on the damn crops, on the plants,
Right,
on the
now,
earth.
So now we getting double doses on the beer, on the veggies, on all the stuff
Right.
going on in the air, and all the stuff that they spraying on the farmland. Don't forget about what you call that. They got this new situation, and for them to have mentioned it, they had to have that shit years ago. It's a liquefied form of how you get rid of the remains of the human body.
Ew.
They liquefy it, and they keep the fucking bones, and they take the bones and turn the bones into some type of dust. They turn the bones into some type of powdery dust, and sprinkle that shit on farmland,
You mean the material to keep the body? Keep their body?
No, I'm talking about the actual human body. This is why we find so much DNA inside of different food products, man. DNA showing up in meat. Right? Human DNA showing up in meat. Human DNA showing up in plant life. You know what I'm saying? It's because of these type of Frankenstein science that these dudes is applying to the food processing, man. Ooh, let me see if I can pull that.
That's terrible, man.
Not just since that.
Oh,
yesterday.
man. God, man. What the fuck? This is why the Lord said we got to hasten the coming of the Lord, man. Hasten the day. This is why you need to pray. Every prayer every day should be hastening the coming of the Lord. Please, Lord, come back down here and destroy this place. Please, Lord, come back down here and destroy this place. Please, Lord, come back down here and destroy this place. Right? Please, Lord, come back down here and destroy this place. Please, Lord, come back down here and destroy this place. Right? Please, Lord, come back down here and destroy this place. I don't want Yahweh Shah, man. I don't want his Lord and the Hebrew. Of our own, of the only begotten Son is Yahweh Shah. Ba'ah means to come in the Hebrew. B-A-A-H. Ba'ah means to come. Mahar, M-A-H-A-R, right, means to believe come here. Yeah, it's here. Or quickly, I believe. Here or quickly. Mahar. You know, Lord Yahweh Shah. You know what I'm saying? Out of one means Lord, and then the Heavenly Father, Son name, which is like our Lord Yahweh Shah, man. No, Mahar means quickly. Mahar means quickly. So, Ba'at Mahar, out of one Yahweh Shah, in the Hebrew means come quickly, Lord Yahweh Shah. And we asked him to come quickly because we want him to destroy this fucking place, man. We tired of being here, bro. This shit is vexing, man. It tells you in the 2 Peter that Lot was vexed with the filthy conversation of the wicked, which simply means that Lot was vexed being on the earth at that time, being in Sodom and Gomorrah at that time, because that was like the gay central of Slakia. That was the most central of the world, man. That was the most central of the world. That shit was
Happy since.
that was super happy, man. Damn, like you probably seeing men doing all type of weird shit with each other. That shit is vexing to the eyes, man. Especially when you know better and you don't stand with that wickedness, and your spirit is not of this world. Seeing wickedness and being around it, it vexes your spirit. You know what I'm saying? It vexes you, man. It definitely does. But yeah, man, that's taking dead bones and putting on. Oh man, that's woo. They like fertilizer. Man, but that shit don't even. Esau evil, man, because they got cow manure for that. Isn't that what the cow manure supposed to be doing? Yeah. They're supposed to help fertilize the land and help the crops grow. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm like, this damn devil, man. You can't be here much longer, man. So them idiots that tell you got 1,000 years, man, the hell with them. Oh, we gonna be here forever? Nah, man. We ain't gonna be here for no lifetime, man. For 20, 30 years in this place, man. They just said, what? If the days not be shortened, no flesh should be saved, because it's that bad, man. It's through the strength and power of the Lord we still here, bro.
Yeah. Inside the machine. It's all through the hope. How come I have
That's terrible, man. That is terrible. Fucking terrible. That is terrible, man. Why would you want to live in this place? Why would you want to stay in this place? Why would you want to continue in this place knowing that we live in a world where they're fucking breaking down bodies and spraying it on farmland? When we go to where the crops grow, where we eat, man. That shit is vexing, you know?
That shit make you want to cry, bro.
Like, oh man.
Nothing you can do.
Yeah, you gotta. Oh man, that's why you gotta pray over. You gotta pray over everything.
Everything.
Y'all remember the brother
the water, shit.
Yeah, everything. I remember the brother GMS Watchman. He the water. I remember the brother GMS Watchman. He had a clip like a couple months ago of an Edomite, right? He was talking about the same stuff about how the food is defiled. We gotta pray with the food. And he was going to the Ezekiel 4:13. It says our food is defiled amongst the Gentiles. And he showed a clip of an Edomite. He had tapeworms in his body. Yeah, and the tapeworm was coming out his fucking nose. Well, that shit was like this long. Coming and the doctors pulling that shit out. Oh man. That's just this. Pray without ceasing. 1 Thessalonians 5:17. The demons are attacking you. Our food is defiled. You're around evil spirits. You're around demons in the flesh, which are these wicked ass people. You gotta stay prayed up, man. Pray. You in a war, man. That's the.
You getting drawn out. You get dried up. They know what they're doing. They're not trying to destroy you in a manner where it's so physical that the world be like, oh, let me stop eating certain things, or let me stop eating, period, and turn it to something else. You know where I'm coming from? And, you know, the thing about them trying to stay secret, what's that? Wow. The thing about them is how they can keep secrets, right? And they want to do things up under the radar. They don't want to be seen they don't want to be seen or called out for who they really are. You know what I'm saying? Right? Huh? Let me bring it out. Right here. This is Isaiah 21:15. It says, "Woe to them that seek deep to hide their counsel from the Lord Yahweh our power." So, woe to them is that meaning they're going to be destroyed. They're going to literally be obliterated from this planet. Yeah? They're gonna go into their 1,000 years of slavery. You know, starting with the firstborn fruits of slavery. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna,
just 13 Beckett family, those elites.
That's them dudes that's them dudes that Yahweh Shidi Al-Shah is gonna save and keep them alive during the destruction of the 2/3 along with these other heathen nations, right? So what's going to happen is they're going to be the first ones
in chains. They're going to be in chains.
Right.
They're going to be brought to him in chains. Right. They're going to be under arrest. Literally. Right.
And it says, if they work, and their works are in the dark. So if you work in the dark, you're trying to keep your shit under wraps. You don't want nobody to see it. You don't want nobody to see what you're doing. Why? Because then they're going to label your ass. They're going to call you out for who you really are. People are going to see you for who you are. There's no more hiding for you, E. You finished. Tired of your shit. Everybody's tired of your shit. Even the women of your nation is tired of your shit. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's turning against you, E. The rug is getting pulled from up under your ass, man. Sick and tired of your shit, man. You do shit for fun. You evil just to be evil, man. The Bible says, Scripture say you are the wicked. You are the borderline. You are the border of wicked. So that's the beginning, because a border is what separates the beginning of a place or state or line, and it also represents the end of it. So for you to be the border, you represent both sides. The beginning of this motherfucker and the end of this motherfucker. You the father of wickedness.
Third, beginning and the wickedness.
Right. They say.
So it starts with you, because you are the wicked. Because Esau, Edom, so-called white man, is the wicked on the earth. The wicked, right? The scriptures called the wicked on the earth. And don't get it twisted. You know, you got 2/3 that's wicked, but ye are the wicked. You are the race where the scriptures identify as the wicked. You know what I'm saying? The seed of evildoers, man. The evildoers, as the scriptures say. Not the seed of evildoers, Salakia, the evildoers. You know, that's talking about you Edomites, man. Because all the wickedness in the world started with you. You the border of wickedness. So it started with you, right? And when you taking out of power, it's gonna end with you.
Yeah. And this is your line. You get what I'm saying? It says, and they say, who seeth us? Who see us? Because for one, they don't believe in the power. They don't believe in Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shah. They despise it because Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shah set a specific time in a day, in an hour, in a minute for your demise. You assuming because he hasn't destroyed you completely that he's with you. You under that impression that the Lord is with you. But now, homie, he got another plan for you. But this is your favorite line. Who see it for us? And who know it for us? Right. That's your other way of saying we could always hide who the fuck we are. We're never going to be seen because we're going to run into Germany. We're going to run into Russia. We're going to run into Sudan. We're going to go into Persia. We're going to say all these different people are the people from Edom. And they not. They other nations. You just run in there and try to blend the fuck in the way you do. You evil, wicked son of a gun, man. You're a problem, man. You're a whole problem. And if the world don't figure it out, then how about seeing y'all shot go come down here and burn your ass down anyway?
Right.
All these other nations gonna gang up on you, boy.
Con. This is 2 Thessalonians 2:8. And then shall that wicked be revealed. Who is the wicked? Who is the devil on the earth? Right? Who the scripture called devil, Satan, the old serpent. Who is that? That's Esau Edom.
Yep.
When we talk about Revelations, that old devil, right? That serpent, right? That old serpent, the devil, Satan, right? That's speaking about Esau Edom, which is the physical part, right? Which is the wicked.
Right.
The wicked, when you read later down Genesis, revealed as Esau, right? The Edomites, that bloodline of the Edomites,
Yep.
right? The seed of the wicked, right? The people of the wicked, man.
That's
All right. Yeah, the Amalekites, because that's Esau's grandson, Amalek. But yeah, the Edomites, nonetheless, that's the seed of the wicked, man. That's the seed of the serpent. Which you so-called white people, man. You know what I'm saying? Caucasians, as they call it. That bloodline, that ancestry go back to the Caucasus. Right. But that's what they identify themselves. That's why we say so-called.
You want to make yourself out to be something other than Esau either, man.
Right, cave dweller. And that's because they're also too ignorant. Because what it says in Jeremiah 16, it says, our forefathers have inherited lies.
Yeah.
So they're like, who the fuck is Edom? They're like, you mean Esau from the Bible? Yeah. Yeah, you're the descendants of Esau from the Bible. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Great.
Right. And let everything be spiritually discerned, man. If the shoe don't fly, let it fly. Right. If it don't fit, get another pair. We're not talking about Israelites that may look like Edomites.
Right.
That look, appearance-wise, as Edomites. But they Israelites. But they're Israelites. We talking about Edomites. No matter what they look like. No matter what they look like. We say so-called YT people to get the point across. But you got Edomites that look like Jakes.
Yeah.
That's what the Lord said. He gonna separate the wheat from the tares, man. Because you got Edomites that mingled in amongst our people and look like damn Jakes, man.
Yep.
Jenny, Lenny Kravitz, an Edomite. His daughter that played Catwoman, she's an Edomite.
Diana Ross' daughter.
See what I'm saying?
See, Diana Ross got two daughters, right? One by Quincy Jones and one by I forgot that rich dude's name. I believe he was a banker. He was a banking dude, right?
I don't know.
Cause I was about to say I believe he was in the music business as well, but I don't think he was. But anyhow, he's the daughter. I mean the daughter. He's the father of what's her name? Tracy something Ross. Tracy something Ross. That's her name. She played Joan on Living Single or whatever that show was. What's that show? The girls on it?
What? You mean Living in Color? Sister?
Sister. Girlfriend, not sister.
Girlfriend.
Sister's two
Oh yeah.
twins. They Edomites too.
Yeah, that's what's her name? I did. She was just spoken about recently. What's that old lady's name, man? Fuck. Nah, I'm just fucking around, but nah, she not an old lady, but you know what I'm saying. I would just, you know, mark it. Not an old lady, but I was like, fuck, what was that lady's name, man? It's something with Ross. Oh man, I forgot her name. She played on Blackish with the white.
That's what I'm just talking about.
Oh
That's
shit.
what I was talking about. Tracy Lee, Tracy Ross.
Yeah, Tracy Ellis Ward.
Alice Ward.
Right. I knew it had Ross in there. I was like, I knew it had Ross, but I couldn't figure out the full name. I was like, oh, Tracy Ellis Ward.
Related to that boy that was in that's her little brother. The boy that was in
Blackish?
nah, he was in that movie with Ice Cube. With T.I.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about? Atlanta, something like that. ATL.
Oh, ATL. Nah. I didn't see that one. But going back to 2 Thessalonians 2:8, it says, and then shall the wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. Right? So what's the spirit of the Heavenly Father's mouth? That's the word, which is Yahweh Shah. John 1:14, which says what? That basically Yahweh Shah is the word. You know what I'm saying? Ain't flesh. All right? So when it says the word of his mouth, right? The spirit of his mouth, that's talking about Yahweh Shah. You know? That's reference to Yahweh Shah. All right? So Yahweh Shah is going to come back and destroy this damn devil, man. And with the brightness of his coming. Because when you read Matthew 24, I think in 33, it tell you that he's going to come in the brightness, you know what I'm saying, of his glory. Clouds of great glory, man. He's going to come with brightness and great glory. You see what I'm saying? So he's not, right, so he's not coming back to make peace, he come back to make war with this damn devil. Put him down. Yeah.
And I'm not going to preach you as a man.
Right, Isaiah 47 and 3.
That's probably going to be situations like speaking as a man and set a point. One of those experiences.
Come, but the wicked is Esau Edom. So we established that the wicked of Esau Edom, right, the so-called Caucasian, so-called YT man, right? All right?
Yeah, this is Deuteronomy 4:27. It says, and the Lord shall scatter you among the nations, and ye shall be left few in number among the heathen, whether the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah shall lead you. Right? So that's the point that we was pretty much getting to, but this is the exact scripture that we say that we like scattered amongst the heathen nations and living amongst them, and so on and so forth. Because the point that I was trying to make is that the reason why a lot of these jakes look like the heathen nations is because we was over there and we was mixing and mingling amongst them. Like I said earlier, the bloodline is what Israelite. The blood.
Right.
If you are from any of those tribes.
Right. And we say so-called Black and Native Americans because these are where the tribe, these are the tribe that, this is who the Israelites identify themselves today.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that they're not Israelites in Europe, not Israelites in Asia
Right,
or Russia. Right, it don't end there. But again, we speaking to our people. That's why we use those points, right? Because we know majority of Israelites identify themselves as so-called Black, Latinos, and Native Americans. But if you believe in this truth, no matter what you look like, you could be an Israelite because only your Israelites will receive this truth. Only the Lord is going to bless the Rakak Wadash to Israelites. He's going to give Israelites his word. He's going to tell Israelites these secrets, man. So if you believe in this truth and you got this word, chances are you're an Israelite, man. You know what I'm saying?
Again, like you said, it's 12 tribes, right? And most of those tribes you may be from left side, right? But you might made it with an Ishmaelite woman. You get what I'm saying? So whatever you come out to look like, that don't mean that you might come out looking like a mother. The people of our nation. But being that your father is from the tribe of Naphtali, guess what? That's who you are. That's who you are, regardless of you got these pale people, and they might not even be white. They just pale and color.
Right, I'm gonna read this real quick. Just to show y'all real quick that the word, that Rakaka God says, word of his truth can only be received by Israelites. I'm gonna read Romans 11:1. It says, I say then, have God cast away his people? God forbid. So the answer to that question is no. So did Lord do away with the biblical Israelites? Did they disappear? No. Right? For I also am an Israelite of the seed of Abraham of the tribe of Benjamin. So he makes
Paul,
that
right?
the Apostle Paul.
He was a Roman at that time. Well, that's what he told to the soldier, that he was a Roman as well, but only because he grew up around them.
Like he had citizenship.
Spoke like them. He did some of the things that they did, but he didn't follow their laws. He didn't follow their statutes and commandments.
Right, but and he was
only there to speak to who? The Gentiles. Right?
Shalom, Yahweh Shema Shah Rakatah. Yep. I post a precept, Jeremiah 12:9. It says, my heritage is unto me as a speckled bird. The birds round about it are against her. Come ye, assemble all the beasts of the field, come to devour. So the beasts of the field, when it says come ye beasts of the field, come to devour, or you assemble, that's talking about all these nations are confederate. The beasts represent the other nations, the heathen nations. They all against us. They all hate us, and they all coming out against us. That's why we read Psalm 83rd chapter. It talks about the confederacy, right? All these heathen nations are coming against the nation of Israel, which is us, the Israelites. All right, you so-called Black Latino Native Americans. Right, but at the top, it lets you know that Israelites come in different shades of colors, man. You're going to have Israelites that look like the other nations. You're going to have Israelites that look like East Indians, look like, white, look Chinese, whatever the case may be, as they call them today, these modern terms, Moab and Elam and Ishmael, but that don't mean that Ishmaelite is an Israelite. It doesn't mean that a Moabite is an Israelite. It doesn't mean that Edomite is an Israelite. Right? But you got our people that look like their people. Remember, we mingled amongst them. We were scattered abroad. James 1:1, to the 12 tribes scattered abroad. Greetings. So what happens when men are scattered abroad? They have babies. They have sex with women, and they make babies. So over time, the complexion and skin color and features start to change. And
why were we scattered? Because that was how you were to save the nation. To hide the nation amongst the people.
Right, and a deeper understanding. Right, but also too, just to, give the milk of it, the Lord did that as a curse because that was a punishment for us breaking the law, statute, commandments.
Absolutely, that's what I'm saying. It was a design within the curse.
Right, because we went against the Lord, so now the Lord that was the curse that the Lord placed on us for going against it. You know what I'm saying? For breaking those law, statute, commandments. We breached the contract. Because the law, statute, commandments that you read in Deuteronomy 38 chapter, when it talks about those curses, we talk about the curses of Deuteronomy in the 28th chapter. That was a contract. We agreed to the Lord to keep the law, statute, commandments. And if we went off, if we turned against our power, we would suffer the curses from Deuteronomy 15 all the way down to 68. So that's a sign that we're the people, right? Not Amalek, the so-called Jew, but us, because we fit those curses. That's why when it says, I'm going to get it, Deuteronomy 12:28, that it's a sign and a wonder to our people, man. All right? It's a sign and wonder to our people. Deuteronomy chapter Deuteronomy 28 and 46, it says, and they shall be upon thee for a sign. What the curses, right? The curses that we're reading in Deuteronomy 28th chapter, these curses of the Bible are going to be a sign to what? To the world, to the other nations, that we're the Israelites. We're God's chosen people, right? And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever. So a wonder, meaning if you ever wonder or you ever question who the Israelites are today, where do they go? You're looking at them. These are the people. These are the Lord's chosen people. These are the people of the book. All right, the so-called Black Latino and the Native Americans, because they fit the curses. The curses is on them for that reason, because they're the Lord's chosen people, which means our people went off. We was given the Lord's statute commandments, and we went off. So as a result, we was placed under these curses. We broke the contract, so this is the penalty for the contract. This is the penalty for turning against Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. That's why we under these curses right now. Right? Let me see if I can do it. And that's how you would scatter. And I can bring that out in the book of Nehemiah, because in Nehemiah 1 it applies. You know what I'm saying? Right. This is Deuteronomy 28:32. It says, thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thy eyes shall look. That means what? You're going to be sold into slavery, man. You're going to be sold into slavery. You're going to have different slave owners. Okay? That's what it's talking about. Different people. You're going to get scattered abroad. Right? It said, thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thy eyes shall live. So when you scatter towards another people, you're property. You're going to be property. You're not going to be free, and you're going to be owned by the heathens, man. Yep. All right? And wherever they live at, that's where they're going to take you at. Wherever they want to take you at, because you're their property. Right, you're their property. So that's how we got scattered abroad, man, because we were taken in as property. You know what I'm saying? As cargo. You know? Continue on, it says, and fell with longing for them all the day long, and there shall be no might in thy hand. Right, so during like the transatlantic slave trade, or as we say the time of slavery in America, you had it to where families was broken apart due to slavery. Yep. So you had something called the Freeman Bureau. Later on during the Reconstruction period after the Civil War, you had something called the Freedom, I think around, after the Reconstruction period, you had something called the Freeman Bureau, whose purpose was created to help families kind of come back together. Help brothers find their lost sisters and lost sisters find their brothers and so on and so forth, because we got scattered abroad. Because what happened? We got the slave masters that took us in captivity. They kept giving us away to the other masters. So as we got given away to other masters and other slave owners, you know what I'm saying, we got scattered abroad. That's that longing, because you knew they told you to slave owners. Like once your mother or father went to another plantation, you ain't gonna see her back again. You ain't, you know what I'm saying?
This I was just thinking,
Word.
because I was watching.
You want to see her, but you know you ain't gonna see her again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was watching the video the brother put up, and it was about the biggest plantation in Louisiana.
Got burned down.
Burned down, right?
That's beautiful. Paulo Yahweh Bashimel Shah.
But they were saying that dude wasn't from, because he built that plantation from the ground up. He was like slaves or whatever. But what happened was he wasn't even from Louisiana. He was from like Virginia or something. So imagine, you know how many people he know back in Virginia. You know he comes from there, so he taking a lot of slaves and he passing them amongst the people, and so on and so forth. A lot of people that started, migrating into the slave trade. A lot of them wasn't even from the South. You know what I'm saying? They moved down there because they saw it to be a lucrative way to make money. Change the dynamic of their family history.
Come on. Continue on, it says, verse 32, Deuteronomy 38:22. Salakia, Deuteronomy 28:32. And there shall be no might in thy hand. No might. Meaning what? You ain't gonna have the power to save. Right, you ain't gonna have the power to that too. You gonna lose our power. That's Jeremiah 17:4. I was trying to say like you won't want your mother back. You don't want your mother back, but you ain't gonna be able to save your mother. You ain't gonna be able to save your daughter. You ain't gonna have no strength. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna be able to save your family. So what the master, and that's what these Edomites did. You know, they'll take your wife and fucking rape her, man. You know what I'm saying? Or they'll beat your child. Ain't nothing you could do about it. You had no might in thy hand. You couldn't stop them. Word. That's why the Lord gonna judge you Edomites, man. The Lord ain't forget that either. Don't think the Lord forgot that. Lord got it all recorded. He remembered, and he gonna have us remember through the Spirit. So the Lord remembered. And you gonna pay for all the shit you did in slavery, all of that shit. Isaiah 14:21. Prepare slaughter for the iniquity of their fathers, man. Ooh, you did a lot, man. You did a lot of dirt, bro. Oh yeah. Did a lot of dirt, man. You got to get it back tenfold. Woo. And we gonna have fun too. Cause the Lord gonna.
That's what He wants you. Fill that shit to the rim. Fill it up, fill it up, fill it up. Give me 2 of those.
Right, cause the Lord gonna have us where we gonna have spiritual power. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Oh yeah, I think y'all good spirit, good strength. That's when everything gets transformed. Good spirits. Good spirits. That's what the most dude was talking, he was thinking about these tornadoes that swept throughout the village over the weekend. So much land, trees, cars, disaster, yeah.
You can show them.
No, I ain't got it. Never say again.
Revelation, I got a precept. Revelation 11:10. It says, and they that dwell upon the earth shall rejoice over them. Right. Who? The heathens, right? Over the nation of Israel. Over them. Over the nation of Israel, the Israelites. Right? You so-called Black, Latino, Native Americans. Why are they going to be rejoicing and make merry? Right? So they was happy, man. They was in a party. They was partying. They was rejoicing. They was happy over the Israelites. Why? Because they owned you. Why? Because they was able to enact their will over you. They were able to have their way with you. That's why they were so in mirth. Yep. That's why they were so happy, man. Yep. It says they make mirth and shall sing 120. They were literally passing. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I got a young buck right here. You know what I'm saying? Yep. Let me get $50 for him.
Get that girl.
Word. And we dealing with
big buck. You gonna give one too strong. That's all they cared about was you was livestock. That's how you gotta look at it. What you do with that stock? You pair them up with the strongest of the strongest. But the woman, you pair her up according to how many children she could bear. If she bear. And you know a lot of them, they swore they knew it, so they would have doctors come there, and doctor tell them, oh yeah, you can get about 10, 20 kids out of her. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then he's like, oh, I'm keeping her to do that for me. Now you get $5. And you have those $5 year after year, you know, in rotation. And you get your 20. And they be big, strong kids that can do and move all the stuff that they need to move through that. These motherfuckers, that's crazy. That's crazy how they just mishandled us, man. That wasn't even a call, but the Lord said, I ain't gonna stop you though, because I'm pretty mad at you, joking, bro. Pretty mad.
Right, it was our punishment.
Yeah, so he was like, I ain't gonna, you know, I'm not gonna let him devour me.
Right, it was
a
our.
lot of y'all gonna get that shit there. So
right. So we gotta clear things up. Yeah, it was our punishment, but that doesn't mean they escape judgment. They're gonna get punished too. Their sins is not clean. Their sins is not cleansed, but the Lord used them to humble us down. Because remember, that was a part of the curses of us breaking the Lord's statute commandment, that we would be in slavery, that this would happen to us, that we would be under the heathens, and we would be oppressed. That was the condition. So this was already been spoken about in the scriptures. You know what I'm saying?
Iniquity speaks up to the others.
Yeah, 10. Revelation 11 and 10. And make merry and shall send gifts one to another, because these two prophets tormented them that dwell on the earth, man. All right. So again, they sold us into slavery. They sold us into slavery, man. They sold us into slavery. All right. It had us under their thumb, and it had their way with us. No, more than
So this is delegation of immigration authority, section 287G, Immigration and Nationality Act, right? This is shot down from what's his name? Donald Trump, DJ
yep.
Trump, huh? And well, we could get to those. It says the Illegal Immigration Reform and Immigration Responsibility Act of 1996 added section 287G to the Immigration and Nationality Act, which is the INA, authorizing U.S. immigration and custody enforcers, right, which is ICE, to delegate to state and local law enforcement officers the authority to perform specified immigration officer functions under the agency's direction and oversight. So what it's saying is that they're going to be able to deputize other agencies to do the same acts and qualities that ICE have, the same abilities that ICE have. You're going to have people in security positions. You're going to have people in school safety. Regular police officer is going to have that, right? You know, already DJ Trump giving them immunity in a sense. You know what I'm saying? No, what you call that? Accountability. You know, when you deal with statements like that, that's a broad statement, man. And people don't realize, man. You know, you Jakes, y'all thinking y'all in good space, man. But they only dealing with the Northern Kingdom right now, and that's on purpose. You know, they want y'all to be like, oh, yeah, get them immigrations out. You know, because immigrants out, people don't know who they are. So, like the brother said, the ancestors went about actually the ancestors was giving false information. You know what I'm saying, in regards to who they people were.
Right.
You know, so therefore, you making that same mistake.
That's all our people.
Right.
That's not just the heathen. That was us.
Exactly.
Because they told the heathen that what they were Italian, European,
Yeah.
Caucasian, and all that, and they told us that we were so-called black and Native Americans as well.
Exactly.
So they had bride words too.
Yeah.
But you know, that was all to hide the truth, to hide the true identity.
You had to.
And keep people ignorant
Right.
to what's really going their biblical nationality, which is their true nationality. Which is what? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
18 nations.
Yep.
Yeah, the 18 table of nations that the scripture talk about.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
But you know how it go, man. When you tell one lie, you got to tell another. You got to keep lying to hide that, to keep that truth, and keep it buried. You know what I'm saying? You can't expose one thing, because once you tell one truth, then you're going to have to keep going to tell the rest of the truths. But the point I was trying to pull out of this is that Right now, they dealing with the so-called Latino nations, right? But that's only gonna be for a short time, man. Before you know it, they gonna be talking about us. Oh yeah, them Hebrew Israelites and so on and so forth. So, you know, stay prayed up, man. And because when they say Jacob's trouble is coming, that thing is around the corner, man. And when it pull up, it's gonna be worse, man. It's gonna be worse than anything we ever seen, experienced. That slavery situation where they was busting us up all upside our head, killing us off, and all of that. That's nothing in comparison to what's gonna transpire, man. These dudes gonna have immunity to run rampant. You get what I'm saying? So it's gonna be in the sense of how it was in those 1820s and so on and so forth, but it's gonna be a lot worse because of the amount of space and mass that these people are gonna have influence over. You know, back then you know a lot of that stuff was only transpiring in the South. When you came up north, a lot of that stuff wasn't transpiring. You know, all that slavery, you might have had segregation in school buses and all that, but it wasn't that blatant in regards. I mean, if you got caught somewhere, yeah, you got dealt with. But if you stayed within your community, you was pretty much safe, man. But now it's not gonna be that type.
That's all part of the curses, because that's that's segregation and redlining, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's
Right now,
all
it's
part of the
not
curses.
part of that.
Yeah, we're supposed to be segregated, but like it was more like how the curses had it, so where like basically you have like sundown towns
Right.
and places you can't be. You know what I'm trying to say?
Right.
Because because we're still under the curses of the Bible. So if you go under certain places, you know, like them sundown towns where you can get hurt or potentially killed. Or
At least a year ago. Getting hurt is something you would look forward to. Please let me go. Make it back. Sat down, pull you in one of them basements. Start cutting organs out, man. Don't even kill you. You know? Start cutting organs out of your body, man. That's a healthy organ. That's a healthy treatment.
yeah.
You know? Start taking pieces and bleed out.
I'm gonna read this out. What the brought it out again? Revelation. I'm gonna bring out James 1:1. It says, James, a servant of Yahweh and of the Lord Yahweh Shah Mashiach, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greetings. So yeah, those are the Israelites, because we was under the curses of the Bible. And when you read the curses, talk about we gonna get scattered abroad to different nations. You know what I'm trying to say? So we got scattered all around the world. That's why the precept that he brought up before, by the way, shalom to the brother. Rakatah, Salakia to the brother, you know, of Walmart. But the precept he brought up earlier was Jeremiah 12:9. The precepts that because they let you know why they let them respect the word. Why he says heritage, which is the nation of Israel, Israelites, so-called Black, Latino, Native Americans, look like respect the word. And that's because you've been scattered abroad. And the men, the Israelite men, mixed in with heathen women. You see what I'm saying? And as a result, it lightened the skin and changed the complexion.
That's supposed to go to 990 to Washington. Like
Washington?
the park?
Oh, that's the park right there.
No, but not
That's Washington right there.
But I
Right?
think I lost because I go to the.
So you might, if you go to the park, down that way.
No, but it's not.
Let me see.
I was trying to bring out Revelation.
Yo creo que me extravié, creo que caminé más todo en clase y. Ajá, yo creo que me extravié. What is the other? Sí.
Park.
Estoy en Washington class ahora. Yo creo que me extravié.
That's Franklin. That's Washington.
En
This is
Washington.
Classic. Next block, you see where the ice cream truck?
Ajá.
That's Washington.
Hello, yo creo que me extravié.
I didn't feel like the block too. About
Yeah, it's
Botanical
park
Garden.
in there. It's a park right there. All this is a park. Whoever she's trying to get next to need to tell her to stay right there and they can come in.
Right.
Instead of her walking around.
Read it again, Revelation 11 and 10. And they that dwell upon the earth shall rejoice over them and make merry. So rejoice, right? When we was in captivity, these heathens was happy that they had us in slavery. They happy that we was their property because we made them happy. That they was able to have their will over us. And also we made their lives. We were servants, man. We were servants, man. We cooked, we cleaned, we nursed their children. You know what I'm saying? We kept their books. You know, like we did everything, man. They had to listen to them. They would live in heaven. You know what I'm saying? While we was in our hell, bro. Like world tour. We was suffering, man. And we still is now, but not to that degree. Not to that degree that we was back in during the time of translating slave trade, man. It was terrible. It was real
As
bad.
far as the beatings, like, the same discussion is not from
Oh,
it ain't no different. But this time they're not killing us with weapons and shit. They're not killing us when they are killing us with weapons. But they're killing us in the manner of through modern medicine, through HMO and GMO food. You know? Through the lack of opportunity, job displacement, you know, they're destroying us, man, because a lot of these things have their effects on you that cause certain ailments to occur and grow and ultimately eliminate you. You know what I'm saying?
right.
We ain't escaped shit. We still in this book.
Word.
We ain't escaped shit.
Get that precept where they said they had us Psalms 138. They had us make a song because that's what they so merry and happy. We had to sing for these damn crackers too, bro. We had to sing for them. We had to dance for them. You know what I'm saying? We cooked their meals and made their beds and we was basically doing all hospitality. We cleaned their floors, mopped it, nursed their children, they washed their children, cleaned their beds. You know what I'm saying? Probably bathed them and shit. You know what I mean? Then a so-called a maid probably had to have sex with their master, bro. Like on some concubine shit. Like, oh man. Oh, man. It was definitely Esau took advantage of it, bro. He did the dirtiest slavery. That's why we gonna fuck him up, bro. He gonna suffer. In righteousness, cause we ain't gonna be doing that weird shit he be doing. But righteousness. Because the Lord's statute commandments gonna be in our inward parts. We're gonna be in the new covenant and we're gonna judge Esau in righteousness. Meaning we're gonna make him work, we're gonna beat his ass, and make him suffer, man. You know what I'm saying? With hard labor and work. He gonna work sun up, sun down. Only time you get rest is the Sabbath. And Lord willing, we can speed that up. Make it for like an hour. It's supposed to be 24 hours, nah, an hour up. Get back to work.
Work their ass to death.
Word. Then bring him back again and
Bring
work.
them back.
Hey man, you can't sleep. Get your behind up. He be word. Get your behind up. Now you got to keep your body up. I mean, word. Get your behind up. Word, man. E, come on, man. Get your behind up, man. You know what I'm saying? Get your behind up. And also, that's in the scriptures. Cast thy, when you read Psalms 137 chapter, we gonna dash thy little ones against the stones.
Yep.
Lord willing, we just read through this chapter, but we gonna cast thy little ones against the stones. You know? Continuing on, it says in Revelation 11 and 10, it shall send, Salakia, and make merry and shall send gifts one to another. That was us because We was property. We was slaves. So slave masters was trading us, man. They was making profit off us. And they was trading us to different plantations and different slave masters. Right? And shall send gifts one to another, because we were the gifts. We was the trade, you know what I'm saying? We was also used as like commodity, pay off debts. Like, I ain't got no money, I'll give you the shit. Like, you look good. Examine you and shit, had the doctor examine you. Physical.
Livestock, man. We could do a lot of stuff, man.
Also Wall Street. Wall Street started off as slave stock. That was a slave stock.
That was the first place where they used to come off the over there by where what's that Statue of Liberty is, that port right there. That was the first stop, Ellis Island. And then they would bring them down to Wall Street.
We was the stock.
And put their ass in under that where actually the stock exchange is at.
Yeah, which was
the
us.
place. Yeah.
Which was us. We were the stock that was being exchanged. That gift that was being passed.
We still on the stock market, man. With our social security number being used, man. They getting money coming and going off of us, man. This is why they so fucking wealthy, man. This is how they able to play fucking God. This is how they able to puppet master the world, man. The way this world is ran is obvious to the fact that these people are the wealthy, are the rich, and are the ruling class, are that banking family that's being spoken of in the Bible. It's showing proof. Who the folk? The folk you can't see. The folk that's high.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? What's they? I'm about to say Gracie Mansion. That's for the mayor, right? Gracie.
Gracie Mansion?
Yeah, I don't know. That's the mayor or the governor of New York. I think it's the mayor. But I was thinking about the
What? Now? No, not now. Like,
I was thinking about doing in England, Manchester, with the Queen.
you mean the Prime Minister?
The Queen lives.
Oh, the City of London?
Yeah.
Something like that? Because you got UK
Her mansion.
and you got the
That
City
land.
of London. Those are two different places, by the way.
Right.
It's like how the Vatican is
Right.
with Italy, or how Washington D.C. is with, right, or how Washington D.C. is with the United States. Like, it's not a part of the United States.
So,
Like
yeah.
D.C. is like its own separate like territory. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not a part of the United States. That's why it's called Washington D.C. Right, this is the
Washington is the state district of Columbia is its own
territory,
little
land.
world.
Right.
Within, you know, it's like a foreign country. That's where the country going and all that shit. So you wanted that song?
Yeah.
49, 149, 3.
No, 137. Right. So we were the gift that was being passed off because we were the stocks. We were the slaves that was being traded off for profits and for their benefit. That's what they were so happy to get in, because they knew they was gonna make money. They knew, they were gonna get rich, and they knew their lives were gonna be easier. You know what I'm saying? They loved having us, you know what I'm saying, oppressed and shit. They loved that, man. They love having their way with us. But now the Lord gonna pay them tenfold. They gonna get it back double. It says, and shall give one to another, because these two prophets, and shall send gifts one to another, because these two prophets torment them that dwell on the earth. That two prophets talking about the northern and southern kingdom, man. See what I'm saying? With the slave boats, you had the National Rebellion. You know, you had the French the Haitian Revolution. You know what I'm saying? Right, these two. So that's about the northern and southern kingdom when you took off Latin and Native Americans. So the northern kingdom represents you so-called Latinos and Native Americans, man. Those were second tribes out of the 12 tribes of Israel, and the southern kingdom, which is so-called, which is Judah, Benjamin, Levi. Judah is the so-called Negroes, or African Americans today, right? Blacks. Levites are the so-called Haitians, and Benjamites are so-called Jamaicans and West Indies. Yeah, West Indies. Yep. That's the Southern Kingdom. See, so this is what the torment. This is what the stress because there's a lot of slave revolts and fights that was going on. People would, you know what I'm saying, revolting against their slave masters. We didn't just sit there and take it. There was a lot of slave revolts going on. You know what I'm saying?
It wasn't their time, you know?
What? But it was happening.
Right. It wasn't the time for those things to.
What? But it did,
But I'm saying, like, for it to be something that changes things.
Right, right, yeah.
Just killed off a bunch of us, you know what I'm saying?
They probably deliver a bunch of us, but it's not gonna bring salvation.
Right.
Right, it could bring salvation. Yeah. So they was stressed out, man. They was
37.
stressed out for us. And they always feared that too when we was slaves. Like they was always fearing that. Like we were remote one thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Killing these super shit, bro. They was kind of like paranoid in a sense. You know? When they always feared that in the back of their mind that that retribution was gonna come back, that vengeance. The Lord gonna get his payback for what you did to the nation of Israel.
Wrongdoings, man.
That's what they was afraid of.
You don't feel good
That what
about
they
going
did against
wrong,
us is gonna come back to them.
They knew for a fact what they did when they went overboard. Right? You had the power to do such. And you watch how these other slave masters ruin lives, man. Kill children. Whip your slave into submission. What do you get from a slave that submits? It's not going to get you no work. It's not going to help out. It's not going to do what he's supposed to be doing. You beat him into submission. Broke his back.
And they would just whip them just because they felt like it too. I ain't got to do nothing wrong.
It's crazy because if you want something out of a worker, you're going to treat that worker the way you want him to perform. You understand? You ain't going to make him even status as a boss, but you definitely going to have him in a good space so he could mentally be there to perform his duties.
Right, but they did that. They forced us into that shit. They like, we was under the constant fear, and that's because we was under them curses. That was that constant, strike with madness, man, perpetual fear. We was scared, man, terrified, you know. That PTSD was running strong back in that time, and it still is now. We still got some niggas that got PTSD. It was one psychologist or sociologist, I forgot her name. She was a female Eve. She said PTSD. She redefined it. She said it's post-traumatic slave syndrome. See what I'm saying? Word. But they knew in their spirit because they was there. That's why when you watch slave movies, it vexes you because you was there. You actually went through that. You just don't remember. Your memories was right. Ecclesiastes 1 and 9. There's no new thing under the sun. All right. Who could say have this ever been before, man? Why is that? Because our memories are wiped. So when we reincarnate back into this earth, we don't remember our past life on this earth. We don't remember. See what I'm saying? But that's why when you watch, say, movies, it kind of like, it gives you a deja vu because it kind of just vexes your spirit because you know that deep down in your soul that, yo, you know what I'm saying? That not only was it's, you know what I'm saying? It's vexing for the eyes, but you feel like you went through, right? It resonates because you lived through it, you know what I'm saying?
It puts you right back in that space.
Word, because you've been through it.
You know? And that's another reason why Stevie's making this funky ass movie because he's trying to see if that shit will spark something, you know, either to bring us back into some form of submission or cause some type of revolution that we, you know what I'm saying?
No, we can bring out that. I'm going to play something. Yeah, he was bringing out precepts. Come on, I got the brother brought it right here. Psalms 137 and verse 9. It says, happy shall he be that taketh and dasheth thy little ones against the stones. Right? And yeah, because we're gonna be happy. Why we're so gonna be so happy? Why are we gonna be so alright, so read what you got. No, I was breaking it down. It was like basically we're gonna be happy because what they did to us, we're gonna be able to do to them. Remember that I brought out earlier, they ripped out babies out of our stomach. Babies out of our stomach, man. The babies out of our pregnant women out of the stomach, and they literally cast them out. You know what I'm saying? Forced abortion. And also too, they used our skin for furniture. Don't forget that. They used our skin for furniture. They used our skin for handbags and shoes, bro.
Yeah, they used to make little pouches.
Pouches.
Hold your cigarettes. Made from skin. Those pouches to carry your little flask or whatever you call it.
Oh man.
Made out of human skin.
That's disgusting.
And when you stretch it and burn it and stretch it and burn it and iron it out, it's like leather, you know?
Alright.
Turns into leather. But human skin though. Crazy. Well, yeah. This is Psalms 137. It says, by the rivers of Babylon, there we sat down. Yea, we wept when we were remembering Zion. We hung our harps upon the willow and in the midst thereof. For there they that carried us away captive required of us the song. And they that wasted us required of us of mirth, saying, sing us one of those songs of Zion.
So right there in the first verse it says, by the rivers of Babylon. Right there we sat down because those were the ports, those were the coasts that we got off of the slave ships. See what I'm saying? In America, Babylon the Great, which is America. So I'm talking about Babylon, right? America, right? So by the rivers of Babylon, there we sat down, yea, we wept when we remembered Zion. Okay? So because this possibly could be talking about ancient Babylon, but we referencing this to modern day Babylon because we got over here on slave ships. Deuteronomy 28 and 68 tell you that the so-called black Latino Native Americans got over here by way of cargo slavery, man.
I mean, it could probably.
We got brought over here by slave ships. This reference for now, what we went through in the transatlantic slave trade. We wept because we remember Zion. Why? Because we remember that we remember that we had our own land. Remember that, you know what I'm saying? We was home. We remembered our home. Like we had our home. We had our own land. We had servants. We had our own baby. You know what I'm saying? We could relax. We could rest. You know what I'm saying? You being oppressed. You being tormented, man. They had us fucking standing in the slave ship. They had us, you know what I'm saying, stacked up like sardines, fucking swimming in our own feces.
A lot of Israelites jumped up that place, man. That's the normal fucking suicide. Jumped up that jump in the water, just themselves. Brown. Blood pressure. High blood pressure is well-known factor. I don't believe that DNA thing as far as like hereditary diseases and shit like that.
Right.
But I know if you don't change your diet, you would only come up with the same type of death that really
But that's why the Lord said these curses that the sicknesses and illnesses that's not even written in books shall cleave unto thee.
Yep.
Shall be on thee. So excuse me, HIV, AIDS, high blood pressure, diabetes, you name it. That's why Jake, the water. That's why Jake is always going through all these fucking diseases. They got the worst sicknesses, man. See what I'm saying?
That's what I was going to say, because of all of that salt water that was, affecting us, seeping in through our skin, although we drinking it, y'all remember that? Water, there wasn't good enough clean water to give me water straight to the water. There you go. There you go. After that shit, we can find the feces and urine and all that. The gate was savages and they was trying to kill her. They was trying to kill her. All that they did.
Shake, man. Yeah, bro, that's it's whatever. Like it's okay. Well, yeah, we went because we remembered Israel. We remember that we were Yasharala. We remember that we had our land and that we was free. We remember freedom. Remember that we had a home, we had a place of rest. Now we don't get. Now we, you know what I'm saying? That was part of the person that we would be brought to another nation. Another nation would come against us, right? And that what we'll be scattered, and that we'll be right. You know what I'm saying? And we won't come back into Israel again. You see what I'm saying? And we haven't been since. Ever since the transatlantic slavery, the Israelites haven't, you know what I'm saying, as a nation came back to Israel. The Lord gonna put us back into Israel with his power and his might. But we haven't came back as a nation. You had a few remnants, a few that, you know what I'm saying, that woke up to the truth, that came back to Israel, but you under the occupied of the heathen, you still under the curse.
I mean, if we made a move to go back over there,
now they would stop us from going over there. They would have their military blocking the border and shit. We would have been like ICE. We would have been like, no, they keep them open. ICE? Word, they would have had an ICE before. It's like, nah, y'all can't come over here, man. Go back to where y'all come from, man. Word, I'm telling you, they would have been locking us up in Guantanamo, and they were version of Guantanamo Bay. Word, like violating us, man. Cages and all that. They were like, yo, y'all cannot come in. They're suppressing us, man. Making us suffer. We hang our hearts upon the midst thereof. Meaning what? We had no more joy. The hearts wasn't singing and joy. We had no more joy, right? Because it was nothing to smile about. You don't get your ass beat and be like, yeah, man, I'm getting whipped. Woo! Yeah, that feels good. Yeah, you would be a weirdo if you did that. But we wasn't like that. We were getting whipped and beaten and mistreated. We was feeling low. So all that joy and mirth was gone, man, when we going through this. We was suffering. We was crying. We was going through many sorrows and lamentations and woes, man. Low state. We're depressed. Very depressed. Verse 3 says, for there they that carried us away captive require of us a song, and they had wasted us required of us mirth. So these damn devils, right, when they had us, when we was their servants, their slaves, they made us sing songs, man.
You just said that too. Wasted us away and made us mirth. Like you want to beat us to death halfway, and now you want us to be happy about that shit?
Right.
What's wrong?
Wasted us away. Meaning what? We was faint, we was weak. So they worked us to death, man. That's why I said wasted us away, man. That means these damn devils was working us to death, man. Literally working us to the last ounce and bits of strength, man. They was working us though. You see what I'm saying? They was working us, man. To the last ounce and bits of strength. That's why I said wasted us away. Required of his own. Required of us a song. Here it is, you work all day, but then he wants you to put a smile on and sing him a song. You work in that hot ass sun, picking cotton all fucking day, and he wants you to, like I said, put a smile on your face and sing him a song and clap and sing and dance and be happy that you enjoy working in the hot ass sun, picking cotton, getting cuts in your fingers, because you know cotton come with thorns. It's thorns that's connected with that cotton.
Fingertips be swollen up like little lollipops.
Word. That shit cut you, man. That's hard
Because they
labor.
not gonna allow you to heal. You know how you get a thorn in your fucking finger or a splinter? Put a band-aid on that shit, get throughout the course of the day, go home, you know, and your girl, whatever, she get that bitch up out of there. You know, so you're not gonna have that extension of pain. Day in, day out, day in, day out, day after day, after day after day. That's just for, a moment. Till you get back at it. The next day, now, not feeling like that.
Right? Con, oh yeah, con. Limitations 4 and 20. The breath of her nostrils, the anointed of the Lord, Yahweh Shemashah, were taken to their pits, of whom we said, under his shadow we shall live among the heathen. Right? So yeah, we lived amongst the heathen, man. Right? Them pictures is talking about it's talking about Europe, but also too the other countries, man. You know what I'm saying? But mainly Europe. We got taken over there. We got enslaved by these Edomites and these heathen nations, man. Only different nations had slavery. That's why they're going to be in slavery. See what I'm saying? Because they had us all in slavery. But Esau going to get it the worst in slavery when we're in our kingdom, because he did us the worst. So it's only right that he gets the worst treatment out of all the nations. See what I'm saying? So continuing on, it says, verse 21, Lamentations 4 and 21, rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Zion. So like in verse Lamentations 4 and 22. 4:22.
Obadiah 18. In the house of Jacob shall be a fire, in the house of Joseph a flame,
Yeah.
in the house of Esau a stubble. They shall kindle power. There shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau. The Lord Yahweh, our power, have spoken. Yeah, so all of this anguish and misery will soon come to an end, man. It soon come to an end. So, I mean, to go through it is a beautiful understanding of that which led us into this demise. All of the things that we did to not pay attention to our power. Like Scripture always say, man, don't drink when they're wrong. That's their doctrine. We brought into their doctrine early in the game. By buying into it, you went off. And when you go off, you take the property, man, like I said, man, there ain't no coming back. For the Lord desire that
But that's what the Lord.
transpire.
But that's what the Lord did. He redeemed us from the curses, not from the curses, but He redeemed us from the letter of the Lord. So now through Him, through Lord Yahweh Shah, we have redemption. So as long as we keep our faith and trust in Yahweh Shah, we're going to do it to the end. And then once Lord Yahweh Shah returns, you know what I'm saying, He put down the heathen, you know. He bringing he delivers the hopeful elect. Then He going to uplift the curses off the nation of Israel. But only Lord Yahweh Shah had the power to uplift the curses. You know what I'm trying to say? So until Lord Yahweh Shah returns, the curses are going to remain on us. again, Lamentations 4 and 22. It says, "Rejoice, O be glad, O daughter of Zion." Slakia. Lamentations 4 and 22. "The punishment of thy iniquity is accomplished, O," I think it meant verse 21. "Rejoice and be glad," Lamentations 4 and 21. "Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwellest in the land of Uz." Right, that's their homeland, the land of Uz. See what I'm saying? The cup, or was that a city? I'm not slacking. We can look that up, but okay, then it says, "Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwellest in the land of Uz. The cup also shall pass through unto thee. Thou shalt be drunken and shall make thyself naked." Right? So that means you're going to be judged. You're not going to escape the judgment of the Heavenly Father, Esau. No matter how much you try to cater to the Israelites, how much you try to, do programs and services and beg for forgiveness and apologies, the judgment, the Lord made up in 421. The Lord not going to pass a judgment from you. You're going to be judged, and you're going to have to pay for all you're going to answer for all the crimes you committed against us, man. You're going to have to pay for all of that. You know what I'm saying? So there's no forgiveness for you. There's no redemption for you. You're going to have to pay for that. That cup will not pass. That judgment will not pass for you. You will suffer. You're going to get into captivity for 1,000 years. You're going to have to eat that. You know what I'm saying? What is it? I think it's John Hawkins with Denzel Washington in the movie Training Day. He was basically like, "Yeah, I know you're scared, son. I know this is your first time. We don't get first time. I know you've been doing it. You'll be all right. You'll be all right." You know what I'm saying? And that's what you damn devils, man. You're going to be all right. Chin up. You're going to be all right. You're going to suffer. But then you're going to get wiped out. You'll be all right. You tough, right? From the wire. They're like, you tough, right? You tough, right? You'll be all right. We're going to tell Esau, you're going to be all right. You know what I'm saying? Niggas die every day. Edom might die every day. He gonna be like, "Oh, no, mercy me."
They said Uz is
I know that's the land of the Chaldees.
nah, that was the land of Job.
Oh yeah, in the land of Uz. Right, with Job and brother.
This is
Right. Wow. Uh-huh. Well, yeah, we're not going to really, because the scholars could be all wrong, so we got to do further.
That's why I said I believe it's supposed to be in grace.
But yeah, that judgment not going to pass for you, Esau. It says too, "And shall make thyself naked." So the Lord is going to expose you, and then He's going to destroy you. So the Lord is going to judge you, but then He's going to expose you. He's going to expose you for the devil that you are. Then He's going to destroy you. So yeah, that's what the Lord decided for you, man. For you Edomites, because you're not escaping the judgment. It's not, and there's no money, amount of money you can put in the church, the church tithing basket, and no amount of money you can do to escape judgment. The Lord's still going to judge you. He's going to destroy you. Verse 22, it said, "The punishment of thy iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. He would no more carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thy iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins," man. So now it's time for Esau to be exposed. That's why all the nations are mad, man. Yet too, and all the nations are how can I say it? They're seeing how wicked this great court is. Babylon the Great. Excuse me, Salaki. They see how wicked Babylon is. You see how wicked Esau is, man, and all the evil that he does. They're being exposed for the devil, man. You are the devil. that history, that knowledge that you could keep in hidden, all your dirty secrets, is starting to come out. You saw of all the things that you did throughout history, is starting to come out, and you feel ashamed about it. All the things you did in this country, as the U.S. government did, right throughout history, is starting to come out. All you did as Esau Edom, the wicked shit that you did, you know what I'm saying? In history, throughout the earth, it started to come out, and you feel ashamed because of it. And you're trying to hide it. That's why you're taking history out of school. You know what I'm saying? That's why a couple years ago, 3 years ago, you took the statue of what was that, Theodore Roosevelt, walking on a horseback with the two slaves. You had the Native American and the brother. Yeah. Which
That
represents,
shit was right there.
nah, not that one.
It
That
was
was
either
nah. It
right
was,
there in that park at the entrance. Not that. Well, it's a small little park like the size of the.
that was at the National History Museum on 77th, I think. Yeah.
Nah, but they had one in Brooklyn.
Oh, word?
Yeah, I don't know if it was there or in Prospect Park. It might have been in Prospect Park. It might still be there. What was that called? What was that statue called? Was it the Roosevelt? The two slaves?
Yeah, I believe they got a name. I don't know the name. I don't know the name.
I know I seen it. I wasn't in Manhattan. I know I wasn't in Manhattan.
I seen it too. I also seen the news when they sit down on the statue. I was like, oh,
That shit, it had to be there right there. It had to be up there. Right there. In that entrance there. See this building? The H building right there?
yeah.
It's like just where the switches at. But it was like not too far from
Right. But yeah, you're going to pay Esau. You're going into slavery, and you're going to suffer.
going down.
You're going down. You're definitely going down. Now, remind me of this precept what you said on the statue. Because I think this is the reason why they took down the statue. Because of Lamentation 10, the 10th chapter. Because they was bringing up the scriptures about it. And that was probably waking Jacob. They were like, oh, shit. Because it's right there in front of your face, literally. They was bringing a precept. This is Lamentation. No, Ecclesiastes. Chapter 10. Verse 7. It says, I have seen servants upon horses and princes walking as servants upon the earth. You see? So those servants upon, what is it? Servants upon horses, talking about the Edomites, meaning they was in rulership. Right? We in his kingdom, man. And that's what you see with the Roosevelt statue. He was a servant. He's a heathen. He's supposed to serve us. He was created to serve us. But yet he's in rulership. Yet he's over them. Right? The heathens are at the head and we're the tail. He's in power and we're not. You see what I'm saying? And that's going to be for a time being because the Lord is going to reverse that. And when the Lord puts us in power, right, we're going to rule forever. You know what I'm saying? Daniel 7 and 18. The saints shall take the kingdom by violence and they shall rule in the kingdom forever. You see paraphrasing? So we're going to have the kingdom, this world forever, man. We're going to rule it. This world is ours, man. It was created for our sakes. But because of our transgressions and our wickedness towards the Heavenly Father, the Lord allowed the heathen to rule over us for a time, and he gave this world into their hands and their management and rulership for a moment. But now, it's coming to an end. Esau rulership is coming ahead. His time of ruling the earth is over. And now it's our time to rule. We're going to be on top again, man. And that's the good news. That's the beautiful part of this gospel, man. That's what's beautiful, man. That's what brings joy to that ear. That should wake up your heart. That should get you excited. Knowing that you're going to rule over those people that oppress you forever. I'm going to do you filthy, Esau. What? I'm going to throw you so far across the rock. You're going to be splattered everywhere, man. Mighty God, we're going to be flying everywhere. Like a test dump. You know what I'm saying? Wow.
This is it right here.
That's a step.
Nah, cause they playing themselves. They only showing. Look, okay, yeah. What?
That's the statue.
This is in. You're not saying.
Yeah, that look like the National History Museum. Word, I'm telling you,
That's
that's
when they was taking it in.
probably, but that's the Natural History Museum right there. I'm telling you. Word, that's on 77th, I believe. But yeah, I've seen servants upon horses and princes walking as servants upon the earth. So again, that's talking about the rulership. You know what I'm saying? That we was brought low, and the heathens, the other nations were brought high above us. See what I'm saying? The Edomites were brought over us and rulership, and we was cast down as servants, man, in a low state. Because us walking as men, you know what I'm saying? Walking as servants, that means we was brought down to a low state. And the servants riding on horses, that was talking about Esau, Edom, and the heathens rising up in power and being in a high state, man. This is their paradise. This is their kingdom. They enjoying it, man. This is our hell. We're suffering down here. Word, we're suffering. Yeah, but that's only gonna be for a time. All right, that's not forever. Okay, that's only for a time. But they got over us. Yeah, they in rulership right now, but that's only for a time. The Lord is gonna bring them low. Remember, we read that in Lamentations 4:22. We'll read it again, Lamentations 4:22. Man, Lord gonna bring them low. So this is Lamentation 4:22. It says, "The punishment of thy iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. He will no more carry thee away in captivity." So our slavery time is up. Our time in slavery is over. We ain't never gonna go back to that type of chattel slavery ever again, man. All right. It says he will, and our time of being in this slavery, in this captivity, is up, man. You know, soon we gonna be out of here. Soon we gonna be in the kingdom, man. And we gotta hold on and we gotta be patient. It said, "He will visit thy iniquity, O daughter of Edom, he will discover thy sins. So now the judgment is going to fall upon these Edomites. Now it's them time for the Lord to start judging them, right? And start repaying them for the evils they done to us, man, and the wickedness that they done in the earth in general. So now it's time for them to pay. Payback time. This is the time for their payback. That's right.
Matter of fact, curses shall go upon them.
Oh yeah. That Deuteronomy 32, I think 7. Yep. Got a precept. Jeremiah 49, verse 12. For thus said the Lord Yahweh Shema Shah, behold, they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have surely drunken. So they thought they was slick. You damn devils thought y'all slick, y'all can escape the judgment of the Lord. To drink the cup means to escape the judgment. You thought you were going to escape the judgment of the Lord, man. I thought y'all was slick. That y'all was going to find a way to escape. Fucking fly to fucking Mars somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Or live on Pluto. Like you escape the wrath of the Lord. Or hide them damn underground cities and bunkers, man. You think you're going to escape that? You're not going to drink of the cup. You know what I'm saying? You will drink of that cup, man. You will be judged for your sins. You will have to pay for that, man. You're gonna have to pay. It says to drink of the cup have it surely drunken, and art thou he that shall altogether go unpunished? So he was really believe that in his mind. This devil think he's so for watch he man 13 drinking says on down. He consider that rolled up to the money. They think they ain't gonna have to pay for the shit that happened in slavery. They think they're not gonna have to pay for all the atrocity they did to our people, man. They think they ain't gonna have to pay for that. That's why the scripture made that point. That's why the Lord is saying this. Because they really believe in their heart that they won't be punished for the evil that they did. And that they continue to do to our people, man. Because you got psychological warfare, you got biological warfare, fucking us up with diseases, fucking us up with the food, you weaponizing the food, you got, you know what I'm saying, you weaponizing air, you know what I'm saying? Psychological warfare, we fucking attacking us with propaganda and fake news and bullshit. Literally bull, you know what I'm saying? Manure, man. Cow dung. I mean, like it's crazy. Then you attacking us with religion. Like yo, you attacking us with like you weaponizing everything against us. So you think you're not gonna go unpunished for all that shit that you doing, killing us in the street? You know what I'm saying? Hiding the truth from us, keeping Jake in a low state, allowing them to sin. Forward in their affliction, you think you want to escape from that judgment? And these devils really do believe that because they proud. They think, you know what I'm saying? Ain't no judgment going before them.
Yeah. He study hard. He even put it to the point where they don't even make fabric properly no more. Everything is mixed, man. They do that on purpose, man. But every time you turn around, he's building his house, building, house, truck. It's concrete, man. Each other, man. Keeping our vibration on the same thing, on the same gravitational thing. It's not fruitful. The vibe is not fruitful.
Word. Judgment. For 9, 3, and 5. And judgment is renewed every morning. Every day he's bringing out judgment. Every day. It's just more judgment. Not the time to be playing with the Lord, man. For you Israelites, you so-called black Latino Native Americans, it's time to get your fucking act together. Word. Not the time to play. Damn. Not to bring out Revelation Ezekiel 28. Got a precept? Ezekiel chapter 28, verse 9. Wilt thou yet say before him that slay thee, I am God? But thou shalt be a man, and no God in the hand of him that slayeth thee. See what I'm saying? Ezekiel 28:9. So when you judge by the Lord and the Lord destroys you, Esau, right? Are you gonna say, oh, I'm a God then? When you brought low, when you in the kingdom getting your back fucking broken by a rod of iron, by whips, are you gonna be saying you a God then? Where's all that pride? That pride gonna go out the window. We could literally, the Lord gonna beat that pride out of you. He gonna bring you so low, man. I'm telling you, the destruction He's gonna bring upon you is gonna be so great. It's gonna be talked about for generations. We're gonna be in the kingdom still talking about it. You know what I'm saying? 1,000 years past, we still gonna be talking about how Lord fucked y'all up, man. And this time, right here. It says, verse 10, thou shalt die the death of the uncircumcised. Ezekiel 28:10. Thou shalt die the death of the uncircumcised by the hand of strangers, for I have spoken it, saith the Lord, power Yahweh Shema Shai. So that means you want uncircumcised, meaning a sinner's death. So you want to die a disgraceful death, in other words, man. Disgraceful death. You know what I'm saying? Terrible death, man. Because it's terrible death away sinners, man. You know what I'm saying? So where you gonna be? Right, Lord gonna humble your ass. And He gonna do it in the worst way. He gonna really humble your ass, man. Because you a proud devil. Like, you never boss. You say you gonna think you God? Like Esau so fucking proud, man. He think he God. He think he is the Most High. You know what I'm saying? And that's not the case. The Lord gonna show you who the power is, man.
It's the man.
That made it. Oh, you bring that out. That's a precept to bring out. Oh yeah, Obadiah. Yup.
Isaiah 14 and 16, it says, they that seek, they shall narrowly look upon thee, and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdom?
Right, that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdom. Is this the man? They asked that question because you're gonna be brought so low, they're not gonna believe that you ever ruled the earth, Esau. They're gonna be the lowest people. They're gonna be like, y'all gonna be worse than y'all gonna be lower than a worm in the kingdom, man. Y'all gonna be lower than an earthworm, man. Y'all gonna be regarded as spittle. Ain't gonna be shit in the kingdom.
Go back to your regular habitat, man.
Word.
Basis of man.
Living them dead caves.
Back to the basics of man.
Word.
Bottom.
I bet you the Lord gonna have them fucking running as monkeys. Like hanging their chest like gorillas.
You ever heard that statement, Uncle Bunga?
Yeah.
He was saying that shit. Beating chicks over their head with the big turkey drum looking
Word.
back. This is why they had them kept in caves, because when they came down, they was savagely attacking people, eating them, sissing them, you know what I'm saying?
Word. Beast.
Bestiality. Like,
Boy, they gonna be coming. I'm telling you, Edomites gonna be having probably got tails and shit. They're gonna show them their tails. But they grow tails. Some of them grow tails and they cut it off when they born.
they born.
Yeah, they cut them off. They be having tails and shit. Some of them. Now they can get that shit cut right off. But you know, the Lord gonna probably grow their tail, have them grow as much. They gonna be moving like gorillas. Word, climbing up the tree. Like, get your ass down there if I was lighting it down on your ass. Get your wine downstairs, man. Like, woo! What you doing, man? Look,
Make your body go through the pressures and feel where you go so deep in the ocean that your body starts to, what you call that? Implode on each other.
Right, spish.
Yeah,
Word.
make your body feel like.
You know, we meditate upon terror, but it's true. I feel like they're gonna be walking like this in the kingdom. They're gonna be walking like this.
Man.
They gonna be like this in the kingdom, all monkeys and shit. I'm telling you, man, they gonna Lord gonna bring them low.
Why you gonna
They gonna be walking straight.
That's one thing we supposed to be doing, man. Praying on how to get your ass the fuck back. What we supposed to be doing today.
It's good to meditate upon those terrors. But
Yeah.
pray for your Yahweh Shah again to come down here. And come down here and return, man. To come down here and return. But yeah, I'm gonna read this out from the brother, the book of Obadiah, chapter 1. And verse 1. Obadiah 1 and 1. Good precept. And that whole book condemns Esau. That whole book right there. The book of Obadiah, it condemns Esau. So there is no salvation for the Edomites. There is no repentance for the Edomites. There is no mercy for the Edomites. They're going to suffer. They was created literally to be destroyed. The book of Obadiah, chapter 1, verse 1. The vision of Obadiah. Thus saith the Lord power concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from the Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Shah. An ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye and let us rise up against her in battle, man. So the Lord is gathering these other nations to fight against Edom, which is what the homes or the territory that Esau Edom rules over, which is America and the EU. You know what I'm trying to say? So we'll have a lot of heathen nations turn against Babylon the Great America, man. Including NATO and the EU. You gonna turn against NATO and the EU gonna turn against this whole America, man. Cause this is Esau Edom's stronghold right here. Babylon the Great America. So a lot of nations gonna turn against the West and shoot their arrows at her. Get Jeremiah 50. This is what it's.
Jeremiah chapter 50 and 29. It says, call together the armies against Babylon. All ye that bend the bow, camp against it round about. Let none thereof escape. We comfort her according to her work, according to all that she hath done, do unto her. For she hath out against the Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, against the holy ones of Israel. Yeah, she's supposed to get her ass kicked. She's supposed to get that which she issued out. Gets that. Except for running around doing it more filthier than we were supposed to have got dealt with. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I'm so looking forward to it.
Utterly destroyed. Run everything and everybody up out of this place, man.
Word.
And we compensate those who got away, escaped and ran inside the mother effing bunkers. They gonna be the ones who niggas pull up out of there.
Yeah, the elect.
Slaves, man.
That's right. You know what I'm saying? The elect. They're gonna be retrieving them from the clefts of the rock. I think it's from Jeremiah 16:16. See what I'm saying? So they're gonna be retrieving them from the clefts of the rocks, and then from there they're gonna put them in chains. Alright, let me show you that real quick. Jeremiah 16:16. It says, behold, I will send for many fishes, saith the Lord, power the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai, and they shall fish them, and after shall I send for many hunters, and they shall hunt them from every mountain and from every hill and out of the holes of the rocks. See, out of the holes of the rocks.
Right.
So
See, look, that's that what's that shit I was telling you about? Subtopia. That's the underground cities, man. Subtopia. That's the holes in the rock. That's the bottom of the mountain. Subtopia. All of them shit y'all got. You have so many different neighboring cities. They tell you to go down to one of them joints and come out of that shit in Arizona. Go inside one of them joints right here on top of New York City. What's that? Yonkers somewhere around here? Upstate New York. Go inside of one of them joints. End up in California somewhere. Building all that shit like that little state.
yeah, cause
The
they
dude said that shit too. He's like, yeah. The whole world will be blowing up, man. You will never know. And the dude that was like, the tour guy, he was like, well, at least we be safe. At least we down here will be safe. To that. Give the strength to the men. So start hunting more. The hunters men start hunting the men. They'll hunt their ass down, snap their neck, bring them back to life, snap that shit again, bring them back to life, and then throw a fucking chain on that shit.
right. So yeah, when you go back, we read in Jeremiah 16:16, we'll call fishers because what did Lord Yahweh Shah said? He said, come and I shall make these fishers of men. So we're fishing the men through the word of the Lord. This is the word.
I'm talking about hunting men.
Right, but I'm getting to that part too.
Oh,
So now the hunters, because that's us now, we're fishing for men. This is the bait that the Lord is giving us to fish to gain men, right? To gain the elect into the truth. But now the 144,000, right, which is a part of this ministry, whoever they may be, Lord willing, I'm part of that number, right? They're gonna be imbued with spiritual power. And then from there, the Lord's gonna give them that order to get the elite that was hiding from the nuclear destruction and try to hide from the wrath of the land. They gonna try to in the underground bunkers, man. Tell them to get their ass out of there because of the rock. Underground bunkers. Word. Also, real quick, I want to add Psalm 149. That's a beautiful precept too. Psalm 149.
just gonna pull out that now.
Now I want to pull that out real quick. Matter of fact, we should close out with that word.
Yeah, that's definitely a nice
Word. That's it. Oh man.
I think
But I want to bring.
to this point. But we could bring the scripture to our
Yeah. That's what I was trying to do. I would just want to bring a precept out of that song, just to show about the arch, about them going into captivity because we brought it out. You know what I'm saying? That they were going to go into slavery. Psalms 149. And verse 7, to execute vengeance upon the heathen and punishments upon the people. Because this is the vengeance of the Lord. These are the punishments that come before the heathens and which is the other nations, particularly Esau, Edom, right? To bind their king with chains and then know with feathers of iron, right? This is what we're going to talk about. So when the elect get the elites from the underground bunkers, they're going to put them in chains, man. They're going to be property, man. The first fruits of slavery, literally the first ones in captivity. They're going to be the first slaves, man. The kings and the nobles, man. You elites, because though you're the only one that's going to be given access to them underground bunkers, man. You know what I'm saying? So you going to be the same one that the Lord is going to preserve Because he don't want you to get hit with a missile. He want to bring you into captivity.
Right. He wants somebody to come, snatch the doors off of that shit.
And scare the shit out of you. Because they remember, he said, I'm not going to meet thee as a man. So they not going to meet you as a man. Because they're going to be imbued with spiritual power. They're going to be like he is. With that angelic force. So you're going to feel that presence. And this shit going to scare the shit out you. You're like, you're going to be in a corner like this. I never felt something like this. You're like Nebuchadnezzar, when he buckled his knees and just broke it. Wow.
Yeah. You know how
Buckling
most
his knees,
folks,
man.
right? In their house, they have those, what's it, they call it quiet rooms? Where it's like a safe inside your house. Yeah, something like this can rush to your house and break in your house. You have a safe room or whatever, or a quiet room. What they call that shit?
Huh?
What do they call that when you got my house?
Panic room?
Panic. So then, when you snatch that door, they're going to run to that panic room and assume that's going to save them, but that door is
That is a lot of shit to work on.
Why should I be walking with y'all all on top of each other? That shit is crazy.
All right.
Cutting or something. This don't matter. Every time you turn on the news, little 12-year-old boy got this morning, or yesterday, he brought a gun to school. It was unloaded. But the shit that they be doing, man, this shit he be doing. Bringing guns and shit to various places. But he don't get in trouble like most men. He's not in trouble like most men. These little 12-year-old ass got snatched up with a gun. He would have first off, it would have never made the news. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And secondly, he wouldn't have got arrested. Crazy shit is, all these guns, these school shooters, that's the last thing you need to think whether it's a loaded gun or not. That little black ass is crazy. I come from a parent telling the kid, you can stay outside, you don't have to come straight home from school. You want peace and quiet. She don't care.
Son, I'm gonna read Obadiah 1:11. And it'll be I'm gonna start at verse 10. It says Obadiah 1:10. Actually, yeah, let me start at verse 7. All the men of thy confederacy, Obadiah 1:7. All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. So these are the men that America has been friends with the beginning, which is NATO and the EU, American allies, right? It says the men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee. Hey, Shalom. That's the yeah, that's yeah, I know that brother. I'm like, oh snap. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Oh yeah. Hey, Shalom to that brother, man. Low one to be at camp. Oh. He's like, oh, like, oh shit. God.
He's doing the taxi thing, right?
Nah, I think he's doing something else. Nah, I think he fire safety. Yeah, fire safety director. Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
What up? Good job, bro.
But continuing on, it says, all the men of that confederacy, which is NATO and the EU, American allies, had brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee, that they that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee, there is none understanding in him. Right? So he don't understand how the people that he was making money with and getting along with for so long, Babylon the Great America, how these nations betrayed him. Because of Europe, which is NATO and the EU, Europe, they hate America, man. All them countries hate America. So the countries that founded, the founding countries of NATO, which is those 10 countries, the founding countries of NATO, you can Google it, the founding countries of NATO, and also these new countries that you know what I'm saying, that was born into NATO, these Europe, which is all different European countries, you know, that was born into NATO and the EU, they know NATO combined of NATO and the EU because NATO is its own separate entity and the EU is its own separate entity. And we bring them together, you know what I'm saying? Regarding prophecy and scriptures. But all them countries, they hate the war, man. They're going to shoot fire at her. They will destroy her. This is paraphrasing Revelation 17:16. They will destroy her, man. Let me see. Damn, I was, Confederacy, like, under understanding in the, right, they hate the whore, NATO and the EU. Get the 10 founding countries real quick on Google. Can you do that? 10 founding countries. Matter of fact, what? Yeah, Google it. Because it's more, but these are the 10. Because you know the other countries. Right now, we don't gotta get into that. We don't gotta get into that. Yeah. Word. It says, verse 8. Shall I not in that day, saith the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai, even destroy the wise men out of Edom, and understand on the mount of Esau? And like mighty men, O Teman, shall be dismayed, to the end that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter. So they're gonna be destroyed, man, in World War III. And they're not gonna have no understanding. They're not gonna understand how they got to this predicament. They're not gonna understand how they got to that point where they're getting slaughtered, right? When the nations are coming against them. When the nations are puffing up their face at them. You know what I'm saying? Not afraid to challenge the American authority and policy and their tariffs, man. So what's going on? That's because Esau is losing his power. And these nations they hate the war. They hate Babylon the Great America. Right? And they're going to show out. They're going to show their face. They're going to flex their muscle. See? And they're going to get slaughtered, man. And World War III is going to be many casualties on the side of Esau, you know. But also by Lord Yahweh Shai, with the angels, man. Yep. They're going to come down and deliver some work. They're going to do some damage.
I think this thing with Russia. Putin. One of his men.
As it says in Obadiah 1 and 2, behold, I have made thee small among the heathen, thou art greatly despised. Europe hates you, Asia hates you, South America hates you, Canada hates you. There's so many countries that hate America. You know, there's a list. But they hate you. You despised among the heathen. Greatly despised. I mean, they really hate Babylon the Great America. They really hate this place, man. They hate Americans. And they hate Babylon the Great America. They hate what it stands for. This is why they're going to shoot their ICBMs at this place. Because they hate this fucking place, man. See what I'm saying? And we hate it too. Can't stand Babylon the Great. But see, we hate it because the Lord going to put it on their spirit for them to hate this place. Yeah. Right? We hate this place of all the treatment and evil that they've done to us. Because we know. That's why Scripture said, Ecclesiastes 7 and 7, oppression make a wise man mad. We know. Because this shit is stressing us out, man. This shit is stressing us out. Yeah, we want to get up out of here.
Putin said, this is politics, right? This is, I believe it's coming from Express USA, right? I mean, Express US. It says, Putin hitman threatens to blow U.S. to hell with radioactive tsunami as World War III fears explode. So it says, a prominent Vladimir Putin propagandist has unleashed a scatting tirade against the United States of Russia, on Russia, television warning of nuclear tsunami that would obliterate the country in response to potential U.S. sanctions aimed at crippling the Russian economy. So that's these wars, man. These threats of wars coming from the possibility of some country's economy being destroyed. You feel me? You know? And that's what's getting ready to happen. That's getting ready to happen. You getting ready to see World War III, but that's you getting ready to see World War III coming fast in your lifetime. But that's what hold on. But that's what that verse was talking about in Obadiah 3. I mean in Obadiah 6. Right? That was 6. 5. No, 7. Right, men that they were at peace with. This is the thing, man. They not at peace right now because Trump is in the midst of trying to make America great, right? So he say. And in the midst of doing such, you putting sanctions on all the world. You putting sanctions on all the world to pay tariffs. You know what I'm saying? That will rebuild America's wealth financially. So even though it sounds stupid because it's not going to be an effective fight, but he's buffering up problems, man. And that's what they're talking about what actions these people are going to take to usher in these type of actions.
So the Lord's going to take away their understanding. They're not going to understand how they got in that predicament. But they're going to be going very low, man. And the Lord going to destroy them. They're going to be destroyed. In verse 10 it says, for thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. Right? So they're going to be utterly extinct. They hate that word extinct, wiped out. But that's what's going to happen to the nation of Edom. They're going to be wiped out. But first you're going to serve 1,000 years of slavery, you Edomites, and then you're going to get wiped out. All right? This is the judgment of the Lord. This is his will. You're going to get cut off. Verse 10, it says, for thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever, man. Against the violence against thy brother Jacob. All the evil atrocities that you did against our people, man. They've reached up to the heavens. To tell you that in Revelation 18 and 4. They've reached up to the heavens, man. So that now the Lord going to have to repay you for all of that, man. Your sins will be visited. And you're going to pay, Esau. And like I said, you're going to pay in the kingdom when you get that 1,000 years of slavery. Your ass beat, man. Woo. And even before that, because then the Lord going to bring you down. You know what I'm saying? Thermonuclear destruction. You're going to come back with a concentrated laser beam and just... No. Word. They're going to annoy Yahweh Shah with the angel just getting busy too. So, yeah.
It was just saying that yesterday that we're not sure who crashed into one of them fighter jets. The Navy, I don't know if it was Navy, but I know it was military base. And it hit the dome. So on top of it, they closed that glass. They skipped over that glass.
It says, yeah, they're going to get cut off, man. This is why it says this here. Verse 11, in the day that thou stoodest on the other side, in the day that the strangers carried away captive his forces, and foreigners entered into his gates, and cast lots upon Jerusalem, even thou wast as one of them, man. So that's going back to the account of Psalms 137th chapter, man. When it said, raise it, even to the foundations thereof, man. So Esau came in with the help of other heathens to basically invade Jerusalem. And what, they took the holy things, the precious things, you can read about that in Daniel, the 4th chapter, no, 5th chapter, the precious things that Nebuchadnezzar had. You know what I'm saying? They took those precious things, man. So Esau got help by the other nations, man. And they took away those precious things and they destroyed Jerusalem. And they destroyed the temple.
Took the A out. Has the B.
Yeah. They didn't know the name.
Huh?
They didn't know the name. The Lord put them in that state. So they can't. They can't know the name. Remember, the scripture said it's just supposed to be a snare upon them, upon their table, man. Supposed to confound them. No, they want them to call the name. That's it to be healed. He didn't want to heal the 2/3.
No.
That's why he left his name out the script.
Took that shit out of the memory.
But we got the remembrance through his mercy.
Right.
He put it back in our remembrance. Yep. We put it back in our remembrance through those men, those great men. But yeah, man, the Lord did that for a reason. So that because he didn't want to save everybody. He didn't want to save the elect. He didn't want 2/3 to fall upon him. You know what I'm saying? That's why he got them rejecting this and not taking heed to this word. See what I'm saying? So they cast upon these things. They got help in destroying us. So now, when we in our kingdom, they're going to get double, man. They're going to receive their judgment for the evils that they done towards our people. All right? So, got anything else? I'll read Psalms. Now, if you got a song, you can bring it out.
Gonna bring that
All right. Yeah, this is my last precept. This is Obadiah 1:18. It says, "In the house of Jacob shall be a fire, in the house of Joseph a flame." Right? So Jacob represent the southern kingdom.
black tribe.
Represent the nations. Jacob represent, the other nations. In the house of Joseph represent Ephraim and Manasseh. Right? Right, Ephraim and Manasseh. You know what I'm saying? The brothers. That's the house of Joseph. Right? That's the half tribe of Ephraim and Manasseh. And then Jacob represents the other tribes. Okay? So it says what? Jacob, in the house of Jacob shall be a fire. In the house of Joseph a flame. And the house of Esau for stubble. Meaning that you Edomites are going to be brought low. Remember we read in Ecclesiastes 10:7 how the servants were walking, the servants riding with horses, and kings right. So now the prince is going to rise up, which are you Israelites, you so-called Black and Native Americans, you Edomites, which is so-called white men, and white men, they're going to be brought low. They're going to be brought low. They're going to be servants to us. This is what it said, man. So while they serving that 1,000 years captivity, they're going to be servants. They're going to make our lives easy.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The word.
It's hard for a lot to perceive that.
Oh, I got straight.
It's hard for a lot of y'all jakes to perceive that. Soon come, you're going to be slave masters. You know what I mean? But a lot of y'all are soft. Y'all don't understand what payback means. You know what I'm saying?
But they don't got a ruling class mentality. Like, you've been brainwashed.
They soft.
They brainwashed, man.
Yep.
Not even so much soft. They brainwashed. Because you got the toughest dude that'll still be like, nah, we shouldn't go against the white
man. You know what I mean
man.
by soft? You don't have understanding of these scriptures.
Oh, yeah.
That's what it means to be soft.
Okay.
Because you're still victim to your slave master's doctrine.
Right, you still holding on to lies. You don't know.
You're soft. You don't want to turn it loose. To get what you're trying to do, you gotta be able to let go. What they say, out with the old in with the new.
Right. You can't put new wine bottle in old.
Right.
New wine in old bottle. Yep.
So you gotta turn things loose.
Unless the bottle bursts and the wine spills.
Yep.
See? Con. So they gonna be slaves to us in the kingdom of heaven, man. They gonna be serving us. They gonna be cooking and cleaning and ironing and making sure the bed is made.
Oh, I agree.
Word. The heathens cooking, cleaning, ironing. They also Esau too. Cooking, cleaning, ironing, making sure the bed is made, working. You know what I'm saying? You can set it up. You know the Lord gonna give you the wisdom to set up how you want to. You might just have Edomites just not even doing that type of chores. You might have Edomites just yeah, that's how Esau gonna have them do it. I mean, the brother gonna have them doing that.
They gonna have motherfucking slippers that floating around, sweeping the floor. They gonna be washing the floor with their shoes. Back in the days, the Edomites and things like the Edomites, you know, like they had them shoes, just this high. On the bottom of them shoes, they was like scrub brushes. They used to be like this. Floor, scrub the floor. You know what I'm talking about?
Nah, that's crazy. But see, I think I probably seen that before. I don't remember.
They used to step in the bucket, come out, boom, with the soap, scrub the floor. Clean the whole house out. Take those for the another trip to dry the floor. You know what I'm saying? The other shit, because they were they put their shoes in the floor. They walk around outside, come down, shoes.
Oh yeah, they did. And then
In the
they had
hallway, they don't put them in the You know what I'm saying? But they know this place is foul, land, the ground, all that shit, foul, trouble. You know what I'm saying? So they take that, keep them outside. Keep them outside. Huh?
it's out of order. These kids out of order.
They don't have no law. They don't listen to them.
They don't listen to nobody. Oh
So
shit.
they're gonna get destroyed.
Ah, fuck. Gotta take it. See. Like,
You gotta take it.
yeah, I got to. But yeah, continue on this.
That's why they're gonna be the first to do it.
It says two, and
Second.
they shall kindle in them and devour them. Meaning we're gonna utterly use them up. We're gonna work them to death, man. We're gonna work them literally to death. Then bring them back and have them work again. They're gonna suffer, man. Hard bondage, hard labor. Right? They're gonna bring in the milk of the Gentiles, which you read Isaiah, which means what? That means that all the natural resources, their gold, their oils, their silk, the fabrics, the material, they're gonna bring to our kingdom, man. Because Jerusalem gate's gonna be open continuously, man. Never ever end stopping, never ever closing, man. So our gate's gonna be open continuously, and they're gonna constantly bringing in gold, bringing in silver, bringing in oils, bringing in perfumes, bringing in silk and fabrics. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna constantly bring that in as tribute. That's taxes. Like, nah, give me my money, man. Word, give me my money, man. Word. You know what I'm saying? Nah, run me that, man. Dig in your pockets and give me my money, man. If I send lightning down on you. Like, word. But continuing on, it says, and there shall not be any remaining and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord Yahweh Shema Shah has spoken it. So guess what? It's written, he's spoken it, so it's going to come to pass. So this is future prophecy. So guess what? We're going to use you so-called YT man, white man, Caucasian, whatever you want to call yourself. Identify yourself as. We're going to squeeze the life out of you like oranges. We're going to squeeze the shit out of your life out you. We're going to squeeze it out. We're going to use every ounce of energy out of you in that 1,000 years of captivity, and then we're going to wipe you off the earth. This is what we're reading about. You will be wiped off the earth in 1,000 years. There ain't going to be no more fucking Edomites, man. You like, Esau? Who that? You're going to be reading probably in a textbook somewhere, man.
I'm gonna have E tied up.
You're going to be out of here. Extinct.
Satin the size of my shoes. I'm gonna tie my shoes, clap my shoes, and have me walking around like this. standing on top of his back. He's gonna be on the beach, walking me around the beach, walking me around my house. This is what I do.
What?
Look, you're gonna be working, man. Cleaning up. You're not serving me by doing that. I'm just on top of you while you clean. I'm not gonna put on your neck in turn while you clean. I want you to get the border. It's just you and you. That's all y'all do. Y'all go around this whole house and clean all the borders. I got something for somebody. You know, everybody gonna have a tank.
What?
Everybody gonna have a tank. You too? Two blonde-haired, blue-eyed motherfuckers? Yeah, y'all just gonna clean the borders. That's it. Nothing else.
All right, Con. Bring out that song. But yeah, man, it's a judgment we read about. Esau gonna pay, so hold on to the faith. Hold fast to what thou learn, man. Hold fast to what thou learn. Word. And I'm gonna bring out one more precept. Revelation 13 and 10. It says, Revelation chapter 13, verse 10. He that leaveth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here's the patient in face of the saints. So let's be patient, brothers and sisters. Let's be patient, man. The saints are the Israelites, right? Because we know they're going to go into captivity. And we know they're gonna receive the judgment. We're gonna work them to death, man. So that's something to be patiently waiting for. Get them in a low state to where we can beat them and work them to death. Make them suffer like we suffer. Crying, begging for help. Please, master. No, man. Get your ass back in the field.
What do you think?
Well,
what do you think he's saying?
Word. We going.
Okay.
Right, real quick. The saints, the Israelites. Bring that out. Psalms 37. I'll show you who the saints are. Real quick. Where the saints? And you can read Psalm 149 and we close this out. Word. Because who are the saints? Who are the saints? Oh, Psalm 148 in verse 14. It says, He have exalted the horn of his people, the praise of all his saints, even of the children of Israel, a people near unto him, praise ye the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shah. So the saints are the Israelites. So when we read about the saints, the patience and faith of the saints, it's about the Israelites, particularly the believers of the nation of Israel. The ones that believe in Yahweh Shema Shah. We're patiently waiting for Esau, Edom to be brought low, be brought into captivity, so we can have our way with him, so we can have fun, you know what I'm saying? Working him to death and beating him, you know what I'm saying? Like he did us. It's only justice, it's only right. But see, the Lord put us in the spirit, the ruling class mentality. We look forward to this, man. So while the world is feeling ashamed and bad to talk about that, I'm rejoicing, man. I can't wait, man. Word. As soon as I get that devil, bam. As soon as you look at me wrong, boom. You thought about looking, boom.
He gonna get his shit.
Word, you even think about name, boom.
He gonna get his shit.
Word, we want to get all that work, man, so we tired, man, and we want justice, and that is justice, that's righteousness, and that's what we look forward to. So, you got the song? We got the song. Tell them we got the song.
They know. We can clean that after the song.
All right.
This is Psalm 148. 149, July. It says, praise ye the Lord, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh. Sing unto the Lord, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh, a new song in his praise and the congregation of saints. Let Israel rejoice in him that made him. Let the children of Zion rejoice in their king. Let them praise his name. In the day. Let them sing praises unto him with the timbrel and harp. For the Lord, Yahweh Hashem, take pleasure in his people. He will beautify and meet with salvation. Beautify the people with salvation. Let the saints rejoice in joy. Let them sing aloud upon their bed. Let the high praises of Yahweh Shah with the mouth. And a two-edged sword in their hand to execute vengeance upon the evil and punishment upon the people. To bind their king in with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron. To execute upon them the judgment written. This also have all the secrets. Praise ye the Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua.
Oh man, so this is, we looking forward to that rest, because this is what we're speaking about. When we in the kingdom, we get that rest, right? We're gonna wake up rejoicing, happy, excited. We got the spirit of being a new body. We in our kingdom, we in paradise. You know what I'm saying? We got our women, we got our land, we got our money that's the rule, man, and we got it good. And we gonna be comfortable. And then what? We gonna have that two-edged sword, which is that swift judgment, to really, and probably is a two-edged sword. You know what I'm saying? To actually shut down when they get out of line.
It says, let the high praises. It says, let the high praises of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua be in their mouth. So that goes along, that ties in with the scriptures is going to be written on our elbow parts, right? So we're gonna have this word, and we're gonna keep it on. You know what I'm saying? It goes like that, man. That's what's wrong with people, motherfucker. Yo, you gotta laugh out of pity for these dudes, man. I know I do. I don't be laughing because I think it's funny. I'm laughing because I see their demise, their destruction. It's coming. When it comes, all this happy shit that they be doing, they gonna be fucked around, man. They gonna be fucked around. But back to what I was saying, man. That double-edged sword is definitely gonna be in their hands, man. You just read that in Revelation. Revelation? No, it's not double-edged sword.
They said go to take it.
What? That was Revelation 13 and 10. They should go into captivity and they should be killed, right? So, exactly. So, what sword is that referring to? This is our salvation coming in this time. Come on, man. Come on, man. Open these books, man. Open your eyes, man. See what's happening. See what's happening. You know? And what's up? You got something, man?
Yeah, so us, you know, that's the reward we're gonna enjoy. All Israel will enjoy of being able to rule over the heathen, bash the heathen in, and you know, the Lord not gonna change them. He gonna let them be all. He gonna let them. They're gonna be flesh. Yeah. They're gonna be a wicked flesh. He's not gonna change them. And they're gonna go off. They're gonna break the Lord's statute commandments. The Lord said commandments gonna be the Lord of the land, of every land. And they're gonna break it, so we're gonna have fun putting them in order. Like, oh, you went like this, well, you give me that arm. It wasn't acting right. Swift judgment, harsh judgment.
You're gonna be calling from different places all throughout the earth. Yeah, I need 12 of the ox to come over and straighten these people out. Yeah. Come over there and play hands, man. Governing body gonna be sending soldiers out. Yo. Need you over there and execute judgment on a few Edomites, a couple of other nations, man. Don't obliterate them. Don't knock them off and bring them back. Show them what it's like to work. Nothing. Boom! Murder your ass. Bring them back and show them. Give them a 24-hour a show of your murder on repeat in your mind.
Yeah,
give you a 24-hour replay of that shit.
As it's written in Isaiah 33 and 18, you know, we meditate upon terror. So these are thinking about. Right now they don't see it, but then later in the kingdom they're gonna know it. They also gotta bear that shame. Yep. So Lord willing, this was an edifying lesson. We fed the lambs and the sheep of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, and we like to give Lord willing, this is edifying lesson to all those that watch the water for bringing out his precepts, the wall mouth. Shalom to that brother. Bringing out his precepts and
shalom.
Bringing out his precepts and allowing us, bringing out his precepts, you know, adding to this feast. And, you know, Lord willing, we'll tune in Thursday, Lord willing, for another lesson. And with that, we give all honor, all praise, glory to
Yahweh, Bashem.
Salutations to the fellow Akhid labeled on the apostles' doctrine, and to the men, women, and children that sincerely believe. To you we say shalom. Kwam Yasharallah.
Kwam Yasharallah.
Kwam Yasharallah.
Kwam Yasharallah.
Abba Babor.
Abba Babor.
Shalom, Israel. Shalom.